Welcome to the Unclicked podcast. Sean Burns.
Are we rolling already?
We
I
are.
think so. We're recording. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
Nothing. This is starting off great.
Let's just
exciting.
make noises into the mic.
we have Kevin. You are a nurse. I know that, right?
Equipment tech.
Equipment tech. Yeah, aka party management.
Yeah, that's me.
Nice to have you guys.
Dr.
What
Monaco.
What are you guys doing in San Diego?
Vacation, baby.
Yeah, we're getting away from Boston weather and filming for the next Bone Deth DVD. We have two other riders that are coming in. Like, I probably won't be filming because I physically can't.
Yeah.
Never say never.
But yeah, it's Bone Deth trip.
Let's give this guy.
Up in my face.
I don't think his mic's on.
Isn't the mic is not clicking on.
It's okay.
You're number one.
One.
Talking to that thing.
Doctor.
There we go. There we go. We got him in our ears now. Sean Burns is officially at the
Okay.
table.
It
I don't
was
think they
on.
heard
Just-
any of those
just-
noises before that.
Yeah, it was
Or
just
on
turned
the
down.
headphones.
So, I mean, so
There
definitely
it
hear you now. What? Why San Diego? I mean, honestly,
Why San Diego?
Yeah, because last time you and Kurt came to Long Beach, the only thing you guys found was a military base filled with goats.
Filled with ghosts.
Goats.
Goats, yeah. I was
Bah.
like, ghosts? I don't remember. I
No,
remember
no ghosts.
yeah.
Goats, yes.
No, we found a couple things,
Yeah.
but not much.
I just remember you were just like super dissatisfied with. You're like, I'm probably not going to come back out to California.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've been here since then.
Okay.
Or not San Diego, but I've been to LA like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I think, yeah, that's it.
I mean, I guess you're just here probably because it's not cold.
Yeah, well, the reason I came to San Diego is because you asked me to do a podcast.
Yes.
And then I'm like,
Really?
Yes.
well,
I
let's
kinda
make
got
it.
the whole ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, let's
Hell
make
yeah.
a short filming trip out of it. And Robbie is originally from here, and he's been wanting to film some stuff here.
Yeah.
And I think our new rider, Adam Ganiden's never been to California.
Little Robbie? He's on Bone Deth now?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been, he's
That's
been
awesome.
on there.
He's been
yeah.
on Bone Deth
Yeah.
for
Wow, I've known
7
him since
years.
he was. Wow,
Yeah.
no way. I've known him
Yeah.
since he was a little dude, and I haven't seen him in a long time. And I seen him at
He's-
the beach.
he's in
a
Austin,
prick?
right?
Freak.
A freak.
Oh, he's
yeah.
a freak.
He is a
Sounds like
freak.
a prick. I always thought he was
Yeah.
a nice dude.
Freak too.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here today, but his flight got canceled. But he gets in tonight.
Oh, so he lives in Austin.
Yeah, he lives in
I
Austin.
seen him in
Yeah.
OB the other day, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he looks like, I remember him as little
Wait.
Robbie.
Which one?
Are we
He's
talking
like-
about the right Robbie?
I don't know. He was at
Robbie Nelson?
He was always
Yeah.
at Santee Skate
The greaser.
Park.
Yeah, the greaser dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah.
like, he never
saw him
looked
at
like that
OB
when
the
we-
other day?
He was not the other day. It was a few months ago.
Oh,
probably.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But he was in
Okay.
town.
Yeah, he was in town maybe like 4 months ago or something.
That's
I think.
what it is.
Back
Cool.
in September, I think. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, he's from San Diego. He's cool
Yeah.
as hell. And
Cool.
now you're kind of like TMing since you're not riding, basically, just kind of gonna help get the video rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been the TM of Bone Deth,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. I mean, he technically is, but he's more of the party manager. He's the PM.
PM.
So you make sure everyone's having
We
fun.
we're both the TM, really.
Sick.
He's like the TM in spirit, but when it comes down to like physicalness, well, it's kind of both of us, I guess. Really,
It's good to have two
I have my
TMs.
own-
You don't know many
Yeah,
brands
yeah.
with two TMs. That's it.
yeah.
Hell yeah. So you guys just gonna get the ball rolling out here, or have you already been filming for the next video?
There's like a couple clips stored away for it, but
Here and
not
there.
too much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we have been attempting to make it happen, but the funds haven't always been there. And then in this past year, like Bone Deth has been doing a lot better, so
Oh, that's good.
we're able to do trips now and stuff.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think the whole pandemic, people having more money, being able to spend and everything.
Yeah.
BMX companies everywhere are doing better, I feel like.
I think just outdoor activities in
Yeah,
general,
yeah.
you know,
Which is
like,
crazy.
yeah, which being able to get a bike is like the most difficult thing these days, it seems like. So,
It's funny people having more money because like in the beginning of this it was like everyone's gonna be broke and start fighting each other for food, like
Yeah.
and then people.
I
give
mean,
me your
it
toilet
kinda
paper.
sort of is.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird. It's
But,
like some people have
yeah.
money and some people are fucked.
Yeah,
it's like a crazy
exactly.
situation.
Yeah,
But the BMX industry as a whole seems to be doing really good for
yeah,
some
really
reason.
good. Yeah.
So what it like? Obviously, Bone Deth is a full-fledged BMX brand, but it started out with association with Sparkies, and then what's the structure of it now? Like, where are you guys getting stuff made? Like, what
Well, if you want to get really into full detail, it didn't start out that way.
History
It started out as a guy.
as a guy, drink diesel.
Bob Jones
Yeah.
is his name, and that turned into it being like a curse, a fake curse, where like anytime you just consistently eat shit, we'd call it Bone Deth, and then I started just making my own T-shirts way back in like 99, 2000, and then we started doing events, and then we made a DVD, and after we made a DVD, Sparky's was like, hey, do you guys want to make this a bike company? And then, yeah, it's taken off from there.
Cool.
rad.
What's Bob up to now?
He works construction. I
Yeah.
mean, I know he's got a family now. He's pretty normal nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to be really gnarly. Like, you get into fights at bars with like chains with spiked balls on them and stuff. Yeah, he was a crazy dude. But yeah, he's pretty normal now.
What did he drop the A? Was there ever an A in it? Like
tattoo across his
yeah, like
Well,
like where does the
He got the nickname Bone Deth from my friend Darren,
Uh-huh.
and he was actually the first one to make a Bone Deth shirt, and he just took the A out like Megadeth.
Okay.
You know,
All
yeah.
right, that makes sense. It's so
Which is
funny,
crazy.
man. Yeah, the I texted you about it beforehand, but the Bone Deth jam and then Bob Jones is in it, drinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say those
the
jams you used to
diesel.
do were Bone Death before
Yeah.
Bone Death was really like a brand and a crew,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, fully,
That
yeah.
was like for me that was like the original thing I saw.
I think
Bone
that-
Death.
yeah, just
those
the
jams were
mentality.
insane.
The only reason we did do those was because FBM stopped doing the ghetto comps.
Mhm.
And then we're like, there's not going to be any like full-on white trash, like shitty, just dirty BMX event this year. We got to do something. So we did 3. And man, they're so exhausting.
They were
Oh, I'm
amazing to
sure.
watch.
Like
but
we'd be
yeah.
up for like we'd build those courses in 3 days because we always built them on property that wasn't ours without permission. So it's like we would just steal wood for 3 days, not sleep. Like and
Would
build
you
that
just
stuff.
Made it happen though.
Where did the roadkill come from? Like when did you at what point did you start gathering the roadkill?
Well, I never did that. People just brought that. Like the first one, like we had the Rumble Pit, which was just Ferbert, who used to be involved with Bone Deth. It was his idea to do the Rumble Pit, and
Yeah.
people just threw dead animals in. I don't even know where they came from. And then I think the second event we did, we encouraged people to pick up roadkill on the way there, kind of jokingly, but
That's insane.
yeah.
What did the cops say? I remember like one of them got shut down by the cops, or they probably all got shut down by the cops.
disgusted.
I remember they rolled
Disgusted.
up.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
props just ends like kind of with you and
Yeah.
talking to the cop. I'm like, what the hell did he think was happening here? Roadkill, BMX.
They were
just-
livid for sure, but I mean, it's crazy. All the New Bedford one we did with like the 18-foot tall spine ramp.
Yeah.
A lot of those ramps stayed there for years.
Really?
Forever.
Yeah, like the giant like holy rollers we made, they were there up until like 3 or 4 years ago, and that we did that event
What?
15 years ago.
That was
Wow.
the props one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the props one is definitely the most notable.
Yeah.
With
First
with
one was the standpoint.
So these ramps are
Yeah.
there, but no one's riding those. I'm sure they're like
People were riding.
Yeah?
It was weird because it's like it's a swamp of
Yeah.
rubble
rocks and yeah.
and like glass and shit. It's awful. Like the worst place to
Plus,
possibly
yeah.
ride. Yeah.
Kids are like a new
The
skate
town's
park.
yeah.
It's gross though.
The skate
Yeah.
park built in the swamp.
That's amazing.
Oh man, yeah, those were amazing though to watch. Fuck.
What, I guess we should just talk about the back. My back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I all I heard was the shitty injury, and then the next thing I see is you look pretty damn healthy again.
Yeah.
Robo Man walking down the
You
street.
never know when you hear when people have these bad spine
Yeah,
injuries,
for
because
sure.
sometimes you're waiting to see that first clip of them, and it's like you can tell if they're like, ooh, that's gonna be a while, or like when I saw yours, it's like, damn, these are new clips. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like you're gonna heal fine.
Lately, it's been healing really good.
Yeah.
Like ever since I've actually been putting like full effort towards like using weights and stuff and not just stretching, is like when I'm like, oh, I, actually feel like not like a Lego anymore. But
Building some strength.
it's
around
still
that.
crazy though, because it's still so stiff, and like those clips that I did have the other day on Instagram, they were really difficult. Like,
Okay.
like so hard. Like I'm trying to tabletop as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And I can only just get it flat. But
Okay.
whereas before I just do them so effortlessly.
Yeah. Well, that's what it looked like.
Yeah,
Just seeing it's like, oh, you just grab the bike and you're like, I can ice and table. So it's
Yeah,
hard when
I
you're
mean-
on the outside looking in.
That's all muscle memory. I've been riding for 27 years now.
Yeah.
And I've been doing those tricks for 23 years. So it's like I feel like they'll never leave, even though I had that crazy injury. But I would not be able to handle the impact of like even over like a waist height drop right now or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah.
that.
Really?
Yeah.
Still like that.
Yeah, I still
you-
have to like play it really safe. Like I had asked my surgeon just to get like an idea of what my body can handle. I asked him if I was ever in like a bar fight or something, if someone punched me in the back as hard as they could, is that going to fuck me up? And he said, it's not going to fuck you up any different than someone else that hasn't had the surgery,
Yeah.
but you can't be falling off buildings because then, yeah, you're going to be paralyzed. So I just had to be really super careful about everything. But
What's he mean falling off buildings? Like 3 in a huge set to flat? Or does he mean like
Well-
tripping off of a building? Like,
yeah, I mean, I showed him footage
Yeah.
of what I do and stuff,
Okay.
like in the hospital and everything, just so he could get a better idea of what happened and stuff. So,
I wonder if he understands though when you're doing that, it doesn't like necessarily hurt you because you're so good at landing the flat. He might just think like, dude, you gotta stop this. You're gonna kill
No, he was
yourself.
pretty young. He
Okay.
totally fully understood and was like
Yeah.
familiar with BMX and everything. So, I mean, I showed him the things that I've done.
Yeah.
And, like he even asked, "Is like, does that hurt when you do that?" I'm like, "No, not at all." You
You
know?
showing
Yeah.
the clip of you rolling off the roof?
Yeah, I showed him the clip of the actual crash.
Did you post the clip?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So the clip.
It's really dark.
Ali-
It's
Yeah.
hard to
Ali
see.
messed it up filming it, so you
Okay.
can't really
Well,
see him
for good.
through.
So
yeah.
what actually happened?
Oh my God! Dude! Are you alright? Holy fucking shit, dude.
Dude, are you good?
Oh. Oh, dude, stay still, stay there.
Then you
It was
know,
a
'cause-
freak accident, basically.
I wouldn't necessarily say a freak accident
No.
because I do a lot of dumb
'Cause he's
shit.
up there.
You know, like yeah, like I
When
think
you're on the roof,
I think I
anything
just
can
gotten
happen.
to the point where like we're riding buildings so much so casually that it's become so normalized in my head that like I don't even think about falling off.
You forget the
buildings anymore.
consequences that everybody
I've
else
pulled
is
so
scared
much
of.
shit that like I'm like I thinking in my head that I'm just like it's never gonna happen. And then yeah, I slipped a foot. Or my foot didn't come back on. I fast planted a ledge, and then my foot missed the pedal. I just teetered over, started sliding on shingles backwards, and then next thing I like opened my eyes and I'm on the ground, and like my whole body is just like numb.
Yeah.
Oh man, that must have been so scary.
Yeah, it took a second to realize what happened when I tried to get up. I got shooting sharp pain in my right leg, like excruciating pain. I thought I broke my leg in a million places. And then I'm like touching my leg, and I'm like, my leg's fine. And then like my whole ribs, all the way down my left leg, just went numb. Like
Oh.
kind of like the numbness when like you know like your blood falls asleep,
Yeah.
like when your hand falls asleep or whatever, but like excruciating pain at the same time. And then actually the one thing that really triggered me was my dick. My urethra
triggers
was
me too.
so painful. It was just like it was so excruciating. Like. And it was like a numb feeling. Like I lost all the nerves in my asshole and penis all at once. Like,
And this
it
all
was
came to you that
fucking
fast,
crazy.
like on the ground. You
Like,
realized,
it-
Yeah,
leg,
it was like
dick.
one of the first things that like really like was painful was like I could feel it like from my tailbone up into like my dick was just
Wow.
like
Wow.
like fucking knives going in it. It was fucking crazy.
You think it was just like all the nerves just grabbing everything?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was
Wait,
pretty
we-
sure that I lost that
That's-
for like the first 3 weeks after surgery because
Wow.
it was just like
Nothing.
it was so painful.
Yeah.
Like I had to put ice when I got erections. I had to put ice on my dick to like calm it down because when it expanded, it just was like all the nerve endings were just fucking exploding everywhere.
Dude.
But it's back to normal now.
Like funny, but not at all because, dude, the
Shit
feeling of
yourself.
that being like, wow,
Yeah.
like I have to
It's mental.
be careful of that. Like, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be excruciating pain. Like that's fucking.
So
yeah,
did
I mean,
you when you're
pissing was
when you were on the ground, did you think you were paralyzed then?
oh, it's for sure. Like I immediately was just like,
Well,
I didn't care about riding ever again. I was like, I just want to be able to walk again. Like
Yeah.
that was the first thing I could think of was like, I hope I make it through this to be able to walk. Like that's how fucked up it was, or
Wow.
like even just to be able to like, you know, move my torso and shit.
And you fell like backwards onto
Yeah,
a
I
planter
fell-
or something, right?
Backwards, upside down, really. Like
Mm-hmm.
my bike was tangled underneath my feet, and I fell onto a rock bench. And I say that it's a 2-story drop. Technically wasn't. It was one of those schools that's like, it's hard to explain, like really high building. So it's like kind of almost like a story and a half, but I was coming up from like where there's like a slant.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say it was like probably 15 feet.
I mean, fucking
But like,
high enough.
yeah, yeah.
High enough.
And
If
going
you
off
feet your
blind,
feet's gonna
yeah.
fuck you up. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
wow, dude.
And you didn't get knocked out. You just kind of
No,
a flat.
but
like
I
kind of a
definitely
flash
saw
or something.
stars
Yeah.
because, like, even in the clip, like, there's like 3 seconds or 4 seconds where you just don't hear me at all,
Yeah.
and I don't remember those 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really remember. All I remember is falling off the roof and trying to grab it. Even in the clip, if like you lighten up the clip, you can see my hands grab the roof, and then I just remember like, yeah, like opening my eyes and like getting up, and everything's all fucked up.
Wait, so you got up?
Well, I was on my back
Yeah.
on the bench.
Moved up a little.
And I reached up like this, and that's when I was just like, everything, my leg felt fucked. And
Yeah. So and you were like locked in somewhere, like you had to be cut out, or like,
yeah, I was in like the courtyard of a school, but like a
Mhm.
small one. It was like a garden area. So the fire department, I think, had to break one of the windows and break like a lock and stuff to get in. You didn't have to break a window. They just had to break the door lock, I think.
Like, so from when you're full, I mean, I just trying to figure out what the
Yeah,
fuck's
it's
going on in your
confusing.
head. No, in your head, in your head, you're like, dude, am I, like, that has to be so fucking
Well,
scary.
I think I mean, Albie,
Mm-hmm.
Lamont, and Josh were there, and they were like freaking out. They're like, "How the fuck are we gonna get him out of here?"
Yeah.
You know.
I think of that.
And
point,
I'm
probably
like,
just
and
call
I
the cops.
immediately, and I'm like, I don't care what we're doing here is illegal. Like, we gotta
This
call an
is real.
ambulance.
This
Like,
is
Yeah,
real.
when
I'm
it's
gonna have to get
real-
lifted out. I thought I was
Yeah.
gonna have to get helicopter lifted out of there. I'm
Yeah.
just a million things going through my head, but yeah, that was one thing I was just like, oh, I'm fucking stuck in here. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, with the pain and injuries, and you're stuck in a
Yeah.
school. It's like your
Yeah.
friends can't even get you out of there. It's like,
The day after my
Ugh.
surgery, a police officer came there and they just gave me a trespass warning.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Like the guy's like, I
Yeah.
feel bad being here and giving this to you, but like I have to.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it was actually
you already
a
got
school,
your punishment,
Yeah.
quote
It
unquote.
was a
Like, that's
school
worse
that
than
I've had
anything you're gonna get.
at least 5 times written down for trespassing.
Oh,
like
really?
it's Austin ASD schools or something like that. And like we've been to a handful of them, and
Yeah.
every time it's nothing ever happens. So
So what was the actual damage? Like, what got broken and what?
So I shattered my vertebrae, and I say shattered just because that's like the best way to describe what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because the lower portion of my vertebrae broke into, I think the doctor said it was 36 shards of bone,
Oh my god,
That's fucking shattered.
and they had to
That-
remove
Yeah.
most. They couldn't get most of it out of there, but they removed most of the bone there. And I really don't actually know the full details. I just know that I have 2 14-inch rods in there that are like have I think 17 screws, so it's like
Fucking erector
bendy,
set.
weird
Yeah.
metal shit in there. I mean, I can feel it now. Even like I move around, my like equinox is off. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
like, my balance feels like I'm over here, but my spine's here, or like that I
Yeah.
have this,
Like you're like restricted in a certain way.
yeah, like there's almost like a
14 inches
Bowflex
of-
machine
wow.
inside of me, like this long, stiff, like exercise machine.
That's seriously 14 inches of metal
Yeah,
inside
I mean,
of you.
that's fuck, dude. That's
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
pretty
your.
fucked.
I mean, that's
Are you-
80% of your
Stuff I
back.
see at work all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like,
I work in surgery and I see all the spine stuff.
yeah.
Are you ever gonna get it out? Is that
So that's
Hopeful.
one thing that like the past year, a lot of people on Instagram and stuff that have had the same surgery have told me like, oh, I got the rods out in like a year, and like I feel great now, and I'm like, damn, I have to get more surgery.
Yeah,
might be
And
so
then-
nice though to get?
Yeah,
that
but
shit
then I
out.
talked to my surgeon just a few weeks ago or a week or so ago when he gave me the okay to ride a BMX bike. He told me these rods aren't coming out.
Oh,
It's like
Yeah.
that bone they removed from there, that bone's not there anymore.
Oh,
like I
shit.
still
Yeah.
have a spinal structure,
Yeah.
but like all those bones and the
Like the-
vertebrae
yeah, like
just
the-
all broke.
Yeah.
So I had a really good surgeon, and like even afterwards, I looked up like a bunch of information about him, and he's like a really renowned like Texas surgeon. So
Yeah.
I got really lucky with that. But even he was like, "This is a miracle." He's like, "You shouldn't be walking." He told me that it was
Wow.
a 70% chance that I was going to be paralyzed.
Wow.
fuck.
Oh man, that's just so crazy.
So that was
And,
even,
and
he
are they
told me
telling that?
that
Are they telling that pre-surgery? Too?
pre-surgery.
Fuck, that is
so that was like
stressful.
one hard thing was
Yeah.
like I might wake up paralyzed. Like
Oh, my
yeah, it was
God.
pretty heavy. But
So you went through some
Did your
heavy,
family come?
heavy
Did
shit.
your
Oh, yeah.
family come out and like who was your
Well-
support system in the hospital and stuff?
this was
I mean, luckily it was pre-COVID, right?
no, it was like it was
Right in
like
the
right
beginning.
when it got real bad.
Oh,
Like,
really? So
it was
you were-
like the
you had to be
third
by
day
yourself
of
then.
like major quarantining. Like
Oh, I guess yeah. It was 11 months. You said.
yeah, it was March 16th.
Oh, so,
so
that
it
was
was like
that was,
right when that
was the
started.
fear zone.
Yeah. And my parents couldn't come just because like I mean, they didn't want to fly and they're old, so
yeah.
I lost my brain for a second.
Yeah, just I mean, I guess nobody could really hang out with you. You're just probably in the fucking hospital losing your shit. Huh?
Well, my girlfriend had come out and she stayed there with
Yeah.
me for a while.
She could stay
so-
in the hospital
yeah,
at that time.
Yeah, they were only allowed 2 people at a time, and
That's better
That's
than
good.
what it is
Yeah.
now. At least here, like I had to drop a friend off at the hospital. And he had a concussion, fucked up jaw, and I was like going in there with him, and they're like, you
Yeah,
can't
you
go
can't
past this
come.
line. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Like you're about to take him? So at least that's cool. You had some support with you. That's
oh
gotta
yeah,
make it a little
yeah,
better.
Albie came by a few times and
That's
stuff.
cool.
and
That's good.
what was nuts was being on so many drugs. I was in the hospital for 11 days, and just being so drugged up and kind of not really realizing what the quarantine actually was, and then getting out of the hospital and just desolate roads everywhere,
Yeah,
and
like some, like, zombie
going to
movie,
CVS,
yeah.
and then like
Walking Dead.
I was in
Yeah.
like my girlfriend's truck at CVS, and I just see like people coming out. They had like sores on their faces and shit. I think this is just a coincidence.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I saw these
yeah,
really
for sure.
sick looking people, and I was like, God, this is like a full on movie. What
Yeah.
the fuck's going on? So yeah, I was so discombobulated at what was happening.
That is crazy. Like you go,
Yeah.
you're just out riding, the quarantine's starting, then this traumatic thing happens. You're like, all
Yeah.
right, let's start healing. And then you're like, oh my God, the world's all fucked up too.
Yeah, exactly. Because when it actually because it was third day of quarantine, was all I had done yet was close schools. So I'm like, let's go ride all those schools that we
Yeah.
never could
Yeah.
because there's so much security and stuff. So we're like, yeah, let's take advantage of all this. It's funny because I didn't even fuck myself up trying a clip I was filming for a DVD. It was like an Instagram clip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I was just fucking around.
That's how it happens.
And it was like,
That's how it
I
happens.
think we had just finished filming some stuff, and I was like, it's getting dark, but I want to get a clip for Instagram, which I rarely do. So
Son
I was
of
like
a
so
bitch,
mad at
yeah.
myself for it. But I mean, shit happens. Fuck
No.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess 11 months. I think you texted me at some point. You were like, dude, I am in the worst fucking pain I've ever been
Yeah.
in my entire life. And that was post surgery.
Yeah.
And I mean, it had to be a fucking, you're no stranger to being, injured, I guess, in certain
Yeah.
ways, but like this had to be a whole other level of,
Oh yeah, completely.
Like, yeah.
I mean, but I should have died. I
Yeah.
went head first backwards off a 15-foot drop. I have no idea how I didn't hit my head, which is like
Yeah.
a helmet would have done nothing.
yeah.
And like you
But,
said, you were a little bit concussed and you just hit your body so hard. Like that's
Yeah,
a slam.
I only think it was concussed. Just like your spine's connected to everything.
Yeah.
So it was
gonna
just
rattle
like
your brain.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane. And yeah, then you get to the doctor and you're like, all right, time to get fixed. And he's like, there's 70% chance this ain't
Yeah.
even going to work, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, that feeling had to be insane.
Yeah.
But you're looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel good. I mean, I've always fairly eaten healthy. I mean, I eat fast food on trips and stuff, but like, I think being healthy, not drinking, and just always being active. The doctor even told me that goes a long way. If like I was like some just regular 37-year-old average guy and fell off the building, then it would be a whole
You'd
different
be
story.
dead.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
You'd be dead.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, exactly.
that's not even a question, I feel
Yeah.
like. A normal average person falling 15 feet to their ass is,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think you can live that. That's
No.
some BMX shit right
Or
there.
even
Well, and
just
it's
they
that
would
I
just
landed on a Flintstones bench, like full
What, it was
on,
a
like,
bench made out of rocks? I heard you
It
say
was like
bench.
a bench that's just like
Rock
jagged
bench.
rocks,
Wow.
like in a courtyard, like one of those like full on.
Oh, you didn't even land in any
jagged
sort of
rocks.
grass.
you
Any
had to
sort
get
of
like
plants.
cut
I
up.
was like,
You got cut up and stuff too, right?
Well, that was one thing. Was so on like the 9th day at the hospital is when they tried to get me to start walking,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, okay, let's try this, and I got up. And I almost fell over because my ankles were the size of fucking grapefruits. I sprained both my ankles too.
Yeah.
So I must have hit more than just my back.
Yeah, of course.
So like my ankles are swollen, so I had to wait a little bit, and they gave me these like giant weird moon shoes things to put on that had like fucking ice packs in them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, walking was crazy.
I'm sure.
I actually didn't even fully walk, and they had to let me go from the hospital because they were filling up with COVID patients.
Yeah.
And like if you get infected with COVID, it could kill you.
yeah.
Like because your body is just all focused on your spine right now. So they sent me home early, and I ended up doing most of the physiotherapy at home. And my girlfriend's house at the time had carpeted stairs going up to her bedroom, so I was just going up and down that like a few times a day, and like that helped significantly. I mean, I had a cane.
So how long was that after the hospital? You could already walk up and down these stairs.
Like a few weeks.
That's not
Like, it
too
took a
bad.
few weeks.
That probably felt pretty
Um,
good to be like, okay, like I can at least walk. The doctor was right about that.
Yeah. And then when I went to actual physical therapy to walk better, they were like, "You already did it. Like you don't need to be here."
Wow.
And then,
That's awesome.
Any of the physical therapy I did, pretty much, the physical therapist told me everything to do, and I just been doing it at home. Like I was like, "Fuck, paying for this," Like it was so expensive. So
Let's talk about the BMX industry and kind of the Stu. I think was the person who really rallied to
Yeah.
help support you and stuff like
Oh, yeah.
that. Like so expenses, obviously something like that happens. It's insane.
oh, it's so insane. Like
What was that response like?
I mean, I'm still blown away at how many people have helped out and everything. I see it all the time in BMX. It's great. Not many other industries have that, Like, Imagine if Jay Miron broke his back building a piano and a piano fell on him. You think all the furniture companies are going to donate money for his back? Probably not.
Yeah, BMX is really good about that. It's like,
BMX is so good about that, especially since a lot of us are poor. So
Yeah.
it's like everyone just piles in. But I know I'm trailing off now.
No, but
yeah, Stu and Chris Rye both
yeah.
were so helpful with that, and Alex Liv and Kevin and just all my friends, really everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, even you, like, and you, everybody, like.
What?
There's too many names to name.
No, I just felt I just felt like it was like, you see those things, but I felt like that was like one that transcended, like it was like really everywhere, like every
it's fucking
like
Sean Burns.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
like, no way.
for me,
like,
I'm surprised because I get a lot of hate, mostly from just BMXers on YouTube and stuff. So I'm always under the impression that a lot of people like disliked.
Mhm.
So seeing
Why
so
do you
many
think that?
people
hate
just,
on YouTube,
well,
like comments.
People are jerks.
yeah, people are jerks. They pick at the way I dress,
Yeah.
all the weird antics that I do, and like even like political stuff, and like just the way I ride. Like
Yeah.
Forget that.
people send me death threats because I don't
just
do enough
BMX,
tail whips. Like,
yeah, right.
Tom was saying something similar, and it's like, because on the outside, when I would read those, I would it completely, you ignore that shit. You're like, I get to see like hater, troll, and then 90% of it's good, And same with Tom, because he was saying the same thing. Like, I think a lot of people hate. Like, he was scared to do the podcast because he's just like, everyone's gonna hate on it. And we're like, who? He's like, well, this group chat I'm in, they're all super big dicks, and we're like, who the fuck cares? Like. So I doubt. I mean, it even shows like the BMX community coming together for you. Like, you thought people were hating.
Well,
on
I mean,
you.
we
There's a
talked
few shit talkers,
we talked about it
man.
the other day, where it's just a dude that doesn't like you, but he creates troll accounts.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know,
Yeah,
like,
totally.
and it's like,
Well-
and that's a lot of the voice is like, you see that, you see 9 good comments, and that one sticks with you, but it's like the same asshole.
Yeah.
So
And that's a comment nobody else sees because everyone else knows it's not true. Like, you're like, he's a good dude.
It's like
you know,
more
kinda-
than BMX though at that point.
yeah,
I have
it's-
anxiety
like,
issues too, so I always like think that people are thinking the negative,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like that affects me. So
I can relate.
It's part of that too, but
Yeah, no,
And you have always been different than the average BMX rider with
Oh,
your
yeah.
look,
which is a
And-
great thing.
Yeah.
I was actually more comfortable with that when I was younger because I've always just been being myself, and then as I've gotten older, you learn that
People don't matter.
yeah, exactly.
Like
It's
everyone
weird,
else.
yeah.
You get a negative reaction or a negative experience, and that sticks with you going
Yeah.
forward.
What
And you're
you
like,
do,
oh,
people
can
don't
I be
talk shit,
myself
you know?
now? So
Well, it's just like, but I wear weird clothes. I don't think it's that weird, but like other people,
You're
they
afraid.
send me death threats over it. It's
dude, I
ridiculous.
fucking
Crazy.
the fact that, I mean, it was July, August, whatever it was, June in Austin, and you're wearing like the leather outfit with the glasses, like with the walking thing,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, dude, I reposted like how like somebody walking on on Instagram like that, like, dude, it was so like fucking dope. Like your outfit, the fucking song, everything, like
Yeah.
like fucking, I don't know, I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Well, yeah,
And
like,
it's like
that's
that's
just
like
me being me.
Yeah, and
like,
that's
not
what
me
I mean.
trying hard
like,
or
yeah.
anything. That's just the
But
shit
there's
that I like.
there was probably a bunch of fucking negative comments in there
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. But it's like, fuck those people. You do not get
Oh
it.
yeah, I don't care
So-
about those negative comments,
Yeah.
but they affect you in a sense that like they give you light paranoias of like, am I too weird?
Yeah.
Am I like
Yeah.
too weird for BMX? And then I think about like people say that I'm like, oh, it's too weird. It's like, well, you watch Family Guy and Jim Carrey and stuff, but
Yeah,
because
you think that
it's
guy's
BMX,
normal.
they think
Yeah.
it's like BMX has to be normal or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But where I grew up with Little Devil, FBM, where BMX is the weirdest.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Leland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are you actually weird?
Am I? I don't know.
Yeah, I read the Albion interview last night,
I'm
and it was like that was how it
fascinated with-
ended, and I was like,
That was
ah.
a weird time too.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
That was
yeah.
a weird time as well.
Wait,
What
what
was
about
weird?
the Albion?
Yeah, what was
Oh, I just read that. I try and do a
Yeah,
little bit
like-
of, a little bit of work there, and the Albion interview was basically, I love the Albion interview, but it ended like, is he a genius? Is he schizophrenic?
Yeah.
Is he weird? Like, just like, do you consider yourself actually weird, or is it? Because I think a lot of your stuff is like self-entertainment.
Yeah.
Like where like other people filter themselves. Everybody wants to entertain themselves, but they have
That's the
this
best
fear of like
Yeah.
of like thinking somebody's weird. You
well,
know?
just to go back on the Albion article, Bancroft is his writing. It's kind of similar to mine. It's like more like literature because
Yeah.
that wasn't an
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah, of course.
It was more like he took his perspective of us and put it in his own creative way.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of exaggerations in there.
Yeah.
And they're all true, but he just puts emphasis on it, you know, so that maybe made it seem even weirder than it was.
You were saying it was a weird time. What do you mean by that? Like
that was like that year and like the house we had. It was just in an outflow of just craziness.
Oh, it's just nonstop. Every single day. The house that we were living in, the Boneyard, it was like the first Bone Deth house. And it was from day one till the end of it was so chaotic. Every single day was
seems like it was like 10 years long, but it was only 2. And
10 years of experience packed into 2.
It was fucking wild.
And that's where Bancroft.
I'd come home and
that's when Bancroft was there. Because around that time, there was like you could wake up and there'd be an orgy happening in the hallway, or there would be like.
It was that crazy.
Just like you'd wake up and there'd be like maybe like some trans women on the couch like hanging out. Like it just was weird. It was just constantly.
Was this
weird
in
shit
Austin
happening.
or back in Boston?
In Boston.
In
Wow.
Boston, So I mean,
insane.
we always talk
It was
about you
insane.
being a magnet to like you're
an idiot magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kook
A
magnetism.
couple of idiot magnets.
Yeah.
What so you think a lot of people, like
you as
these
well,
crazy
so.
people just get drawn to you guys?
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, we don't
Same
really go
Yeah.
look for them. They just come to us, you know? Like it's magnetism fully.
Yeah.
It's
I
always
mean, we
been
are
like that.
pretty eccentric people and everything, so it's just like that just draws it in, I guess.
Yeah, it did. And I mean, being in LA or something, I feel like no one would. You just kind of everyone's
Blend
doing their
in, yeah.
yeah, blend in. People are all kind of doing their own cool thing, but like where you're from, was there a lot of people like dressing differently than the norm and
Not
being
really.
Boston's all jocked out.
What,
Boston's
is it?
pretty
I've never been to
cons-
Boston. That's why I
it's
was wondering
like
if there's
Red
more
Sox.
punk rock looking people
It's-
there.
Yeah.
Title town. It's like school town. It's college town.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah, it doesn't have
Yeah.
much of like an artistic scene. It did back in the day, but it's very minuscule.
So you've grown up with it as a kid, then being a little different than the
Oh
normal.
yeah, I grew up in the suburbs of Boston, like south of Boston, so
Well,
it was
It's even
full
worse.
just
It's even
normal.
worse.
so let's talk about your family, because you grew up in all your family. Your mom's a police officer or was a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's a police officer. Your brother's a police officer.
Wow.
So how do you come out of that? You know, like is there?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just the weirdo in the family, but I mean,
Has it always been that way?
yeah, definitely. But then again, like my whole family is weird. Like
Yeah.
I get my weirdness from my dad. My dad's a freak.
Yeah.
Like my dad does the best Michael Jackson impersonations I've ever seen, and like he used to do somersault to handshakes to meet people. Like, he's a weirdo, you know. Like yeah, my parents are weird, but I don't even really know what the question
Well,
was.
just
but like
like-
them,
just,
yeah, my whole
you know.
family's.
I think just his reaction. What? You know, like
Oh,
I think
all
that's
all
very.
your parents or your whole family being cops, but then when you're describing him, he sounds like a clown. Does it cartwheel to handshake? Woohoo! It's like
Yeah, I mean, he's
you don't
definitely
put the
got a
cop
person-
together.
Well, my
with,
dad's like a mixture of like Clint Eastwood and Jim Carrey, but the Jim Carrey only comes out like 3 times a year,
when he's like probably
or
surrounded
he
with
just
like
doesn't do it around me.
Yeah.
huh?
You know, he acts conservative around me. But
Okay, so he's got a few different faces. And he's
Yeah,
he's a
definitely.
all around
Yeah.
guy. That's cool.
Yeah. Did they? Were they accepting of kind of you not following the family lineage?
They, I think, knew from the moment I was a small child that I was not following any of those footsteps. But also, my parents didn't become police officers till I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
They,
Oh, that's interesting.
they started way late.
They both became police officers while you're in high school.
Yeah.
Would they
Well,
just-
my dad was like a General Electric security for decades, and then he got the job as a cop. And then years later, my mom just decided to try it out.
Huh.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, my brother went into the military right out of high school and became a police officer and all that. I was never doing any of that. My parents thought I was gay as a kid. They're always like paranoid and like, not paranoid. They're not like
Yeah,
homophobic or
yeah.
anything, but like I could definitely tell they thought I was gay because I remember I hung up a bunch of swimsuit issue photos on the wall, and they were like, "Greg, get in here! Look at Sean's walls."
It was
My
dudes.
dad's like, "Good job, son,"
Oh, it was like, oh yeah.
because I was like wearing my mom's makeup and putting leotards on and like stuffing the butt and the boobs.
They were
and,
probably
like,
super confused.
yeah, I mean, but I was just doing characters.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like it wasn't anything sexual or anything. It was just me being a weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
The
ever
old
think
gold.
about being an actor? It sounds like since
Old gold.
a child, you've been kind of into like being characters, and like
Yeah,
you even
that
do it
was-
now.
I always felt like you could have an adult swim show.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like-
mean, that was gonna be my route if I didn't focus on bikes so hard as a kid.
So you
Sure.
had that idea of maybe an
Oh yeah,
actor.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
definitely. I mean, I don't think I would do the acting now, but I'm gonna start directing and writing films soon.
Sick.
That's kind of like something that I've been like focusing in my head since I've hurt my back because, I mean, I'm not gonna BMX forever, but
I think you actually do have a talent for it. You know, like
Totally.
I think the like the Bone Deth movie that like went along with, was it Surfing for the Ugly Broads?
Yeah.
Like that one's like obviously supposed to be what it is,
well,
you
that
know, but
actually
like but
wasn't-
there is some genius
Yeah.
in there as well, you
that
know.
wasn't
like,
my movie though. That was
Just more
a
Furbird's.
friend's project
okay.
that we helped him kind of make, and then like we made that when we were 19, just joking around,
Yeah.
and then it was done since 2004.
Yeah.
And then we put it with the bonus on the DVD in 2010, but we overdubbed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just
so
because
it
it was
wasn't
so dumb.
Yeah.
Well, let's just overdub this.
Oh,
and
so
make
there
it
was
stupid.
there was a different plot.
It's a totally different plot. Well, there was no plot. It didn't make any sense. We made it make less sense.
Damn.
It's like an hour and a half long movie.
I've just seen the BMX video.
It's
You
like
don't need to
it
watch
kind of
it.
makes it kind of makes you anxious at a point. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
I was
but there's like some
talking about
moments
the
in there
BMX
that
video,
are
and
like,
I'm like, that came out in what?
No.
I mean, well, we threw that in there as a joke
Yeah.
because we had been shopping around for someone to help us fund and distribute the first Bone Deth DVD, and then when we presented the idea to Sparky's that we wanted like a 4-disc box set DVD for the first DVD, and they're like, "That just is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We could do we could do a 2-disc."
yeah.
And they're like, "What's on the other disc?"
But
And we were like,
meanwhile,
Don't watch that. Just put it out.
we were like, "Oh well, I guess we have this. We could throw this on there."
meanwhile, you only really wanted 2, but you just shot real high. So you're like, oh, let's go 4, and then see if they'll come back
Well,
with 2.
we had originally planned we were going to make a bunch of new movies.
Yeah.
And then when they said, yeah, we could do it, we just didn't think they actually would.
So what do you want to do now with the directing and filmmaking? Is it going to like kind of go away from, if the time comes, you have a lot of years left in life. Are you deciding like kind of to make completely different things away from BMX?
Oh, yeah. We're going to make more Bone Deth DVDs.
Yeah,
for
of
sure.
course.
But
Like you have future
Yeah.
plans to do completely like.
completely. Like I want to get into like horror, sci-fi, like campy stuff.
That's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Have you made any films? Like
I've made
Besides
like just
BMX
shorts, like
Yeah.
little shorts, but
Chai
I haven't
tea.
made any in ages.
Chai
Like, it's
tea.
definitely been well over a decade. But
that's cool.
I've had ideas for years, and then Lee Hopkins, who's part of Bone Deth, like he runs a film production company right now, and we've been tossing around ideas for stuff we're going to start this summer.
Is
So
Lee,
Sick.
Lee
Can't wait
is
to see
based
some of that
in
stuff.
Texas, right?
Boston.
Oh, he is in Boston.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's from
All
New
right.
Hampshire, but
Okay.
So a lot of
I feel
people
like,
like me
yeah,
probably
was he
don't
out
know
there
that.
for a while?
he went to visit. I
Oh,
think,
okay.
for
All right, never
one
mind.
time
I just
with
thought he
us.
was in Texas too.
We all go to Texas.
You're
Yeah.
from Boston, moved to Austin for like 7-8 years,
Yeah.
and now you're back in Boston.
Back in
Boston,
Boston, yeah.
back in Boston. Cool, because I didn't know that until just now. Because I was like, well, you're back on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Is your girl in Boston with you too?
she's in Texas.
Oh, okay. All right. So are you gonna be? Was Boston part of your healing phase, or are you full time Boston now?
I'm full time Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spend enough time in Austin. Just want to go back to.
Yeah,
the,
I just
the
got.
roots?
I was there for. I actually planned on only going there for 2 years. Ended up being there for 8.
Wow.
So, I'm burnt out on it. I got burnt out on riding there to the point that we were only riding on top of school roofs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, still we started running out of spots, and I mean, you never really run out of spots. You can always think of new stuff. But I was just there for 8 years. I got over it.
Yeah.
And like, the music scene has died. All the rock and roll venues are now closed because of COVID. So it's just like I don't really need to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably once everything stopped, it was kind of like you look around, and you're like, well, I've rode all these spots a million times.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to
Time to
try
move
something.
back,
Boston's way
yeah.
bigger, right? So many
The
more
only reason I
spots.
left Boston was winters, really. And then now I moved to Austin. I'm like, the summer here feels like winter because it's so hot.
Yeah. You don't want to go outside just
Yeah,
like winter.
I never actually wanted. Actually, I left Boston too because it was so expensive,
Oh, really?
and like
It's
I really
like-
wasn't making a lot of money at the time. So Austin was the cheap, and then now Austin's
Super expensive. Yeah.
or it's getting expensive.
Yeah.
And
makes
is
sense.
Boston still like skyrocketing, or is it kind of settled down? Is it?
Yes
We're in
and
New
no.
York.
Really?
I went to New York in the fall, and I was shocked about how much cheaper it was.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Like
Wow.
Manhattan is cheaper than Boston.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. New York's
What?
cheaper than Boston now, but I think
That's
Yeah.
fucking expensive.
fucking mental, man.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Because Manhattan, I went there last year or something. I was like, this place is like more expensive than San Francisco. Day to
Really?
day, yeah, it's expensive there.
What let's talk about roofs a little bit.
all right.
The art of the art of roof riding.
roof's
I have a segment called the art. Well, question topics, whatever. The art of roof riding, the art of landing flat, and the art of the toothpick grind. I feel like, let's take your shirt off for this one.
It's getting hot.
Yeah. What I feel like you've had like this philosophy with, just as you said that, hey, all the spots, are pretty taxed in Austin. So you guys started riding roofs and you guys are only riding roofs. And it's like, I feel like you have this like mentality of like, I don't know how to say it, but like requirements that a roof must have is like, the shingles and the stories for when somebody yells at you, you have this like script and, classification for roofs essentially, where it's not like necessarily as like loose as people imagine it.
That was a really long.
Yeah. So the question. The question is.
You answered your question.
Roofs. You like them?
Yeah. I mean, I always prefer to ride, street and not just buildings. But it's hard to find big stuff all the time that's just like on the street,
ground level.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just so much more fun and exciting to ride bigger stuff and like ride a setup that you would ride but has a drop on it. Like it's just more unique stuff to ride, And if you can, you might as well. Like
it seems there's probably a point where like you get out of the van and everyone else is looking here and you just start to like.
Oh yeah, I know.
What's up there?
Probably do the same thing.
Similar, yeah, because you do eventually you start realizing like, dude, there's multiple levels to this street riding thing. And
I mean, it's also too like you get out of a van and like someone like you or I want to film something. We'd rather film something that's gnarlier as opposed to something small and tech, which I like to do, but it's not really what I have fun doing.
And sometimes that stuff's not available anymore because it's already, especially in Austin, there's 30 years of BMX history there, so.
That's something with Burns, though, I feel like, you can watch your parts and it just looks dead, man, but you have clips and parts that like where you switch half cabbed onto a rail, and I think you might have been the first person to ever do that, like switch
Fakey grind
half cab. You remember the switch
Yeah.
half cab onto the big rail? Like that's fucking like you have tricks. You just love the thrill of doing something big. It's like,
well, that's the thing is I don't have a lot of patience for tech stuff unless I really like the trick. I like to ride, but I like to ride different things, so I don't like to focus on one thing for too long, or it stops being fun.
Like as in like a trick?
At that point, like when I have to learn it, if I learn a tech trick, and like all tech tricks are hard for everybody, when it's taking so long to do it, it feels more like it's a job than I'm having fun. So that's why I kind of never leaned towards the tech stuff, whereas all the stuff I do ride is just stuff that entertains me. So
what video was that? The fakey rail and the half cab.
Well, there's been a few of them I've done.
There was two in a row. That was
the
a
Osiris.
Osiris
from 2011.
That was at a time period where you were called like a hucker all the time. So I felt like those were
Really?
I felt like that was almost like a little bit of a statement back then. You're like, hey, I'm gonna do like two.
But
basically.
it wasn't. I actually, for that Albion interview, I tried this like trainee wall ride to flat thing, and I smashed my head on the bricks and then landed both my wrists into the pavement. So I had sprained wrists for 2 months, and then even after that, my wrists were just in so much pain I couldn't drop off anything higher than like waist height. So I just started doing fakey hop stuff, and like all summer riding with like Lee and everyone in Boston. I was just like, I can only ride ledges right now. So we were also filming an Osiris part at the time. So it was just like, oh, let's film this stuff.
You just adapted it.
I just adapted to my body. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, doing the big shit that you do, your body's got to feel 100% to have fun doing it. Or
exactly.
It's like, that's going to feel like a job when you're doing a roof job or something, but your body feels like shit. That's not fun anymore.
What about, wasn't there a time period where when you'd be on roofs and if somebody would be like, hey, what are you doing up there? You'd be like, oh, I can't find my cat.
There's so many excuses. I mean, looking for a cat
with your BMX bike. Looking for my cat.
What worked recently is we're filming for a church youth group, and like there's so many different things. Yeah, sometimes it's just good to just straight up be honest.
Yeah.
Like we're filming bike tricks. We'll leave or whatever. But when you're on someone's house.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm looking for my cat.
Is it? Is there rules with stuff like that? Like, do you try and avoid houses? I'm sure.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Like, pretty much, almost 100%, unless it's abandoned or like, I'll use someone's house as run up. Apartment complexes, I don't consider houses because those people don't own those, and usually people are overcharging for rent there, anyways. But I really think when it comes to that, it's you don't really damage it that much, like unless like can tell it's a shitty roof, you
Yeah.
know. So
That's what I mean. Is like, do you know? I feel like you check it. You know, like I've never seen. You see those those clips of kids where they just like
Front
they
wheel
land
through
on
the
something
roof.
and they just fucking
through it.
blast through it, and then
Yeah.
you know, like, but
Well, it's almost
I was
like they
gonna
don't
ask
feel
that.
it out. Like they just
yeah,
up and do
yeah.
it,
It's like they
Like don't even put their foot on it.
I'll stomp on it. Like
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
do
you
the,
need to.
the test stomp with my foot, and then I'll like, lightly step on it, and I feel any flex whatsoever. I'm like, this ain't any good.
There was a story with Dak where he was about to like ride off of like a parking garage thing and do like a wall splat.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I think I'm gonna go through the wall. And I like kicked the wall a little bit, and I was like, nah, you're fine. And he's like, I don't know. And he did. He just like bunny hopped into the wall.
Yeah, it
Both
just caved
both
in.
tires went through,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm never chiming in and saying it's fine because
Yeah.
like I would have just killed.
I've
He
seen
would have
that
been
happen
10
so
feet
much.
up and
Yeah.
stuck in, and I was like, I would have fucking hurt
Yep.
Dak, you know. So
Yeah.
I've seen
just-
Kurt do that on gapped wall rides. Just stay in the wall.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
And then you just fall like this.
Yeah.
That's cool though. So the roofs thing is just like kind of common sense. Like try and not ride on people's
Yeah.
houses because
Oh, yeah.
you fucking people. Those roofs are
I
expensive.
mean, you have to
know?
get. I mean, you've had guns pulled on you. You've had the
respect.
full
Yeah.
gamut.
Yeah, when it's someone's house like that, I'm the same. Try and stay off
I
it.
know,
But if it's like a
my dad
business,
came out and saw someone on his roof, he'd fucking kill someone.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
expensive, you know.
Like,
Like that
yeah.
shit starts
Shit.
leaking because homie
Yeah,
was
totally.
trucking on the bank to bank. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, find a fucking business.
I would
for
say
that.
most of the stuff I ride, anyways, is either abandoned, it's a school, or it's like an industrial park building or
And
something.
those buildings are different. Where those roofs are
Yeah.
like gnarly. Like they'd
Well,
be hard
and
to break. Those
I've
big-
noticed that in Austin is kind of the only place where I've stepped on roofs and I'm like, oh, you can't ride that. But in Boston, like since it's in the
Bricks.
Northeast, everything's designed for winter. Like you ain't going through those roofs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some pretty scary ones out here. I feel like where it'll be like abandoned
Yeah.
building, and you
Yeah,
push
for
your
sure.
foot on it, you're like, oh, this roof was
I've
not
had a-
meant to be here still.
Maybe one instance where I was like positive I was going to go through and just did it anyways, and it worked out. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
Because I feel like a roof, if you go through, then you have that extra drop. To,
Oh yeah.
there's like those horror stories
Yeah.
you see on Instagram every once in a while of a kid's front wheel going through the roof.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, you didn't check that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Are there like riders these days and roof riding and stuff? Are there dudes out there that are pushing it still, like younger kids? Like, is there a next generation of dudes?
I thought for a minute that there wasn't, like, because everything was so tech.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like lately I've been seeing a lot of younger dudes.
Your dude Josh is fucking.
Yeah.
He's so
Josh
good,
is
dude.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still
Non-stop.
progressing like,
Yeah.
pretty hard. Like,
Even that like 3 clip that he posted the other day, I was like, that was
Skate
fucking
park.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
he
the skate
shreds.
park. I was like, that was sick.
That guy can do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And skate apparently
skate.
too. Yeah. So is there some other guys that like you guys added Adam obviously?
yeah, Adam Gneiden,
Yeah.
he rides
I've
I've
roofs
never
too.
heard his name in
He is
person. That was
Gneiden,
how do you say
yeah.
that?
Gneiden?
Gneiden.
The
The
gun.
gun.
The gun. Okay,
The gun.
I'll go with that.
Do you guys find these dudes, or is it like they kind of just come to you naturally, like because your style of riding, you're into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Idiot
Yeah, we're
magnets,
idiot
yeah,
magnets.
yeah.
Everyone's a bunch of idiots.
Jump in the van.
Yeah.
It's pretty organically. Like everyone that's ever kind of gotten onto the team has kind of already been a friend. But Adam happened through Josh. Josh was like, dude, we should hook this guy up. He fits Bone Deth so well.
Yeah.
And then we met Adam and we are like, holy shit, like he's into the same things we are and everything, like riding wise and stuff. So yeah, it's perfect. Actually, he's like pretty stoked.
Yeah, he's been fucking good for a long time. I think he's had a couple photos in Ride back in the day, like doing some.
Gneiden?
Like, yeah, he had like a wall ride into a roof awning or something. I believe.
I
Yeah,
can see
like a
that.
photo.
He's pretty young.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I
For
mean,
Grimaldo's company for a little bit. I think.
okay. Yeah. What else?
Who is it? Is that the guy? Is that the guy who just had?
He had the.
I might have to
welcome
cut this
kit.
because I sound so ignorant. But the dude who just his last clip was an insane rail.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah, super steep
okay,
rail,
that guy
yep.
is so sick. I didn't
Yeah.
want to throw that out there and meet the wrong dude.
No,
but,
yeah, that's him.
oh my god, that part is so good. And that was a Welcome to Bone Death video, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck
we went
yeah.
out there and helped him.
Yeah,
he
that
filmed that.
guy's
That's like 3
awesome.
months
I never
or
even
4
heard of
months
him.
of
and I
footage
was like,
too,
wow,
which is
that's
sick.
great. That's
that
impressive.
part was amazing. I love seeing that. I want to watch that again. That last rail was like one of the most savage, just straight double
Yeah.
pegs
And
ever.
you don't see too many people grind rails like that these days.
No,
you know?
hell no.
That's like a
Skinny
full-on,
and steep next
like
to a wall.
98, like late 90s type
There's that
rail.
long grind.
Loved
up to
it.
the Serene route. Too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, hell yeah,
super-
that guy's
super
awesome.
crazy.
Cool. I was like scared to say that, like, oh, I'm gonna sound so dumb if this is the wrong guy, but hell yeah, I love that part. Where are we going? Fudge's got his list out.
Oh, I
He's-
know. I'm trying to make sure. Sorry, I was reading other guys' questions. So now we're gonna start jumping around. But the bike you set up, like, is the kind of the mag wheel in the front? Is that kind of don't want to trust myself? Gonna limit myself.
It's a number of things.
Yeah.
One being I fucking love mags.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? It looks so rad. But then it's also so that I know I can't drop off things with a mag. That it'll kill me. So I'm like,
a
all right,
reminder
I'm just
of what
gonna,
your spine's like right
it's like
now.
I got to take it easy, you know, because
That's cool.
I do get carried away with injuries. So this will help me like stay a little bit tame in the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
And like test out how I feel and stuff.
Do you think you'll be back to 100%?
No.
No. Yeah.
Definitely not. Like when I just think about how I feel in my back and this happening again is like I wouldn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, the fear is kind of stuck with you a little bit, I'm sure.
Like the fact that like one thing I've always been really proud of is my fast plant tables because I can like rubber stretch my torso. I can't do that anymore.
No.
I can still kind of table, but like fast plants are like I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that again. If it's going to take years.
Straight up bend the Bowflex and Bowflex and stay like that after.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see myself threeing off 20 sets again. You know what I mean?
But you went and looked at the Dave Young gap. Well, not the Dave Young gap, but a Dave Young gap, the one that you jumped and almost hit a security guard. What you got here yesterday and you just wanted to see if it was possible for the dudes, or you just like...
Well, both.
Yeah.
I'd always wanted to 3 it, and I haven't been to it since I've thought of that. It's been like 12 or 13 years since I've been there. I just wanted to look at it since we're in the neighborhood. We had some time to kill yesterday. But yeah, maybe possibly for one of the other guys on my team.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah.
That's cool. You've done so much like amazing things for BMX. Do you feel like now that you know, like, all right, I'm probably not going to like keep one-upping myself? Do you feel like satisfied with like all the parts you put out and everything? Or do you feel like, damn, I want to get better and keep going?
I've never been satisfied with any of my video parts fully. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I'll always nitpick at everything. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I've always crashed so much is because I'll film a trick and do it fine, but not be happy with it and just keep doing it and keep doing it to the point where I eat shit. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I think I'll probably just steer my riding in a different direction.
That's cool.
And learn other different stuff and progress and push riding in a different way.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Hopefully. I mean, it sucks because I have such a rush and still urge to do big stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't not help but see like setups on the street.
Yeah, you can't turn the brain off.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
That's something I feel like
I've
will
always
never
been
go away.
feared about that. Like pretty much the last decade I've thought about like when I'm like 50, 60 years old, I know I'm going to see the perfect setup that I've been looking for years and not be able to ride it.
Yeah.
So I've always had the mentality that I will ride bikes as long as my body physically can. Because when you're old, you're not going to be able to do that shit. So...
Well, it's cool too now that you have your crew. So, like you're like, I just looked at that spot yesterday and I'm not feeling like doing it, but I got a van full of dudes that might be interested.
Exactly.
So you got like this crew of guys who
definitely
interested in the same kind of shit.
Totally.
Yeah, that's rad. Keep that going. Keep filming.
But back to that original question is there's no way I'm going to be able to film a part like Dead Bang or Anthem 2 again.
Yeah.
Just like my body physically can't do it.
Do you have a favorite part? Like if
favorite part?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I always wanted to film a part that was fully mixed with gnarly and tech stuff, like all completely together. I never felt like I really got to do that. Maybe Too Fast for Food, I kind of did that a little bit, but that's definitely not my favorite. I don't know. Maybe I think Surfing for the Ugly Broads or the Dirty Sniff are probably my favorite parts because I fully had control of it. I got to pick the spots and tell the filmer where to film, all that stuff, and like pick the songs. So it's kind of like more my brain of how my part should look, I guess.
That's sick. What was the one where you overtoothed on the big 16 or 18 and you blew your peg off?
Wasn't over.
It was a kick-out tooth. Like
it's kick-out tooth.
I call them metal tooths.
Metal tooth.
They're so sick.
Jimmy, it's a Jimmy tooth.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I went to that rail not too long ago. I was like, "This is the one."
I know. I actually have those clips. So
dude.
What were you asking?
I was saying, what part was that in? Because
Dead
that was
Bang.
Dead
that was
Bang,
Dead
yeah.
Bang. That part is fucking one of the ones.
That photo too. That photo just like solidifies.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that
I
one
think
where you
that's-
did the tooth and then you wanted to do it better? Like you were saying, like you kind of just keep going until you
No,
fall sometimes?
that one I ate shit twice on it bad,
And then got it.
Went back a week later and got it.
yeah.
Okay, cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We can. I mean, we can circle back to it, but
Yeah.
I
Be a lot of clips
so
you could
I
pull
asked
off
I
of
asked I asked Sean for fuck it, I guess we're here now.
Let's go to the tape.
Let's go to the tape, boys. I asked Sean for his scariest clips, and then I just was going through the the sections, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna pull clips that I want to talk about or I just like, So the tooth was one of those. So
I love that. Yeah, and just going there now too, and I heard rumors of someone wanting to overtooth, and I'm kind of like, straight tooth's way crazier. I think that
Yeah, I think because overtooth, you could it'd be more like gapping out, doing it.
and that motion of it, you get that back peg away. No
Yeah,
matter what.
yeah.
The straight tooth's like you straight up dive in. Like, there's no pussyfooting around it.
I mean, I like when people, like someone does a trick somewhere, if it's way later, I think it's sick. I think if someone had to want to overtooth it like a month after I had the cover, I'd be like, oh, you bastard.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
a difference there
There's
for
like
sure.
a time, like I think you got to at least give it like a year or
Very
two.
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the thing we talked about yesterday, but no.
Has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I know.
I need to hear it though now.
I know.
Yeah, next question.
Talk about it after the podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after. I mean, it does kind of remind me because didn't you? I have on my epic list of topics problems with Hoder and the Rick Thorne segment of life.
Like a Hoder and Thorne segment of life.
Well, so Hoder, because you just said there's like a grace period, and
Yeah.
Hoder was kind of like going around to spots that Burns would do stuff at, and then basically one up him, like 3 the Brooklyn Gap or something, the Brooklyn
Yeah.
Bates Gap, and there was something else too. And you guys were both in kind of Seattle at the same time and all that. Did you guys ever? What was that? And did you guys kind of hash it out?
We're friends now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've been cool for years.
It was just kind of it was public at the time, like it was like out there.
Yeah,
The
I
internet.
actually
Yeah,
didn't
the
never
internet.
realize that
Yeah.
it was so public, but I think there was just Hoder was really young then. He was like 17
Yeah.
or something. Like he was pretty young. So there was in 2004. There was a 15 set that I threed, and I think it was like the first like bigger set anyone's maybe threed, or at least I had seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got really butthurt because he had wanted to three it.
Oh, okay.
But I never met him. I never knew him. I'd never been to Seattle, never seen that stair set. So I think he developed a grudge on me because of it and thought that I wound him up at that spot or something.
yeah, like
so
you should
then
you
he-
should have known or something.
And like around that time was like when internet shit talking was like so big, and like the come up had just been starting, and like BMX board and all that stuff. So I think he was just going on internet rants,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time like proving something. But like I don't really think that never thought of the Brooklyn Banks 3 as a one up.
That's just one that popped in my head.
Yeah, just because it's like such a big, ridiculous spot that like it's funny because I had thought about threeing it, but I was just like, I don't want to even risk going that fast and threeing.
Yeah.
I think when he did it, I wasn't mad. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like you open the spot up, and that's just as scary as tricking it. Because the first person to get over that gap, is like,
Yeah.
all right, now it's a
Now
spot.
it's next
You did the
level.
really
Yeah.
scary thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you go fast enough, you got this. So like you did. Sometimes opening up a spot to me is crazier than getting a trick on it because
Yeah.
you had to be the first one to be like,
Yeah.
no one's got
to
over that
actually do
rail.
it,
I'm gonna
yeah.
fucking try it right now.
You sure you don't want to talk about this, Dennis?
No.
Is it something that I did?
No,
that's
I'm
nothing to
just
do. That's
fucking
why
with
it's like
him.
has nothing
I'm
to do with this
fucking with him.
podcast.
I'm just messing with you. And then the Rick Thorne thing.
Oh, the Rick Thorne thing's simple. Brian Tunney, or everyone had been ranking on Rick Thorne in the magazines.
Yeah.
Like
myself
S&M,
myself included.
Yeah, S&M was making ads.
Let's be real.
Because he was doing so much goofball stuff.
Yeah.
And around that time, it was just really prominent for all of us to make fun of any goofy shit that we saw,
Yeah.
And I was goofy. I just didn't care. But Brian Tunney gave me his phone number. And he's like, you go prank him good. And I'm like, I don't really want to. So I I posted it on like MySpace or
Oh
something.
my god.
His phone
Posted his phone number on MySpace, and then it went on BMX board. He had to change his phone number and stuff. So
Oh,
then he
man.
started sending me death threats from like Mexican gangs and stuff, or pretending he had Mexican
Yeah.
gangs to threaten me. So there was kind of this weird thing for a little, and then we made that ad in the hot tub,
Yeah.
making fun of his free agent ad. But
Yeah, so you had a free.
I've
You remember?
even-
You had a free agent ad that
remember
was
that.
like it was obviously kind of satirical or something. Like
Yeah.
it was like, oh, you think I only ride for the money? Hell yeah, or something. He's like holding money in a hot
Yeah,
tub, and then like your ad was
my ad was because his were always like the time is now, never
Yeah.
give up. I
Yeah.
wrote the time is now, give up.
yeah. And then it was
You're
like
washed
him,
up,
Him
like,
with,
come
him
on.
with like him with like 20 cigarettes in his mouth, surrounded by
Yeah.
girls.
Did it
So-
did it keep going for a while, or did you guys just drop
Man,
it?
Yeah.
I saw him at X Games like 2 years later, and we were just like laughing about it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, he's a
It's
cool
chill.
guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's cool.
I think around that time, he was probably just getting so much grief from people
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
all his. You'd flip through Ride, and there would be like 3 or 4 ads with Rick Thorne, like
He was
cell phone ads, like headphone ads, like
famous stars and straps. Or
Yeah. It was a little.
yeah, it was-
Blink-182 ads.
yeah, he repped it. You know, he wasn't. He just kept it going.
Yeah.
Cribs.
Yeah, he
had
did.
Cribs.
Fucking
Yeah.
Cribs.
He had a house in Hollywood. I went to it
Yeah.
one time.
I was also 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then,
you didn't give a
too,
shit.
So I wouldn't do shit like that
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch scary clips. Is
Did
that,
you?
is
I
that you
said-
right there?
I was
Kevin?
wondering if you actually
No.
knew what some of the
No.
clips were.
I
So
was
the
looking
Stop
at
and
it
Shop
first, actually.
drop isn't in any of my parts.
The what?
I just assumed that was the drop at the end of the video.
No, it's
part.
in the crash section. There's a Stop and Shop building, and I like 90-degree hop a ledge
which
into a vent, and I explode. Like it's probably the scariest thing I've ever done.
That first anthem clip. That first anthem clip is so crazy. Where it's like,
Oh, from Starbucks?
even if you land it, you have to
Oh,
just
yeah.
slam into that fence.
I
off
have
I think it's like the church roof. You go into the bank, and then and the lady's screaming.
the ankle
Oh
breaker.
yeah.
And like you pulled it perfect, but you still had to eat shit into the fence.
I mean-
such a good intro.
I didn't know how fast I would be going at the bottom of that. Really.
Yeah. When you came off the bank, you're probably like, oh fuck.
When I came off the bank, I was just like, shit. Yeah. What am I
I gotta
gonna
lay
do?
this bike over
Yeah.
and go into that fence. Here we go.
Stretch it out.
Where is that? Is this that East Coast?
This right here.
Yeah.
That's Austin.
Austin?
There's
The
one
clip
he
we're
does.
gonna look at is like outside of Boston.
So obviously that is Kevin right there.
That's actually Russell Stover.
Oh, okay, Russell Stover.
Where was he gonna land?
Well, I had an idea. I wanted to land right into the last rock down there.
yeah.
It just didn't work for
Yeah.
the beginning.
It's crazy you were fine. You were totally fine after that, Kevin.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a dummy.
it's a big dummy.
So this is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I think that's the scariest thing I've ever tried.
So I assume the
Yeah,
the
dude.
run up
All right,
is
so
It's
yeah,
so New England with the
it's
stop
like
and shop.
it's
by
like a
the way.
50-degree hop turn. And then
Oh
yeah,
my
like
God,
you have
you
like a little
had
bit
to
over
be-
of a bike length to land
Your
on.
front wheel barely touched anything.
Yeah.
If anything.
And it's like it's probably like wheel height hop, maybe fork height hop at the top.
God. So
And
you
it was like 100 degrees that day too.
and you were that was just one and
said
were you
fine.
hurt?
I
Were you
went up
hurt?
there because I wanted to ride off the ledge
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Like just like oh
That
like
seems
that,
reasonable.
But like you couldn't even get half a crank, and you had to turn. And then I noticed the ledge hop, and I'm like, I was like, and then I was at the point where I was like, I'm not coming down off this roof, not on my bike.
Yeah.
So I maybe took like 10 minutes of
That's
looking
fucked.
at it,
that is fucked.
and I like in my head I thought I was gonna like lip slide down it. Like I was
Yeah.
like my back end missed. I'm like I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But
Did and just decided to leave it.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I bruised my heels. I couldn't ride for 2 months.
Where, but
Yeah.
that's in Boston, right?
It's outside of Boston. Yeah,
yeah. So
it's still
Amazing.
there.
still
I
there.
went and looked at it recently.
Did you?
Yeah, I had always wanted to go back to it, but it's one of those things. It's like so on the outskirts that like you go there, you're only going there for that.
Yep.
So I've never actually been like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna go do that today. You know?
Yeah. So this is the one you posted this on Instagram recently.
Yeah.
And this is fucking frightening. When I think if you really dissect this clip and just the angle at which you're going and you're spinning off of the side of a wedge.
Side of a wedge,
And-
shingles that had like the loose sand shingles.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was trying to get at earlier. Is it like there's like a certain you have a like this tile or this shingle is going to have a certain feel, or like I can't do this on this because of this tile and stuff like that. Like an expert.
Some roofs are soft.
Roofage.
And like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. You all made me feel stupid though.
No.
Well, it was such a big run-on sentence.
I know.
That
it was horrible.
Yeah.
Roof, you like him?
Yeah, he said a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was like, what is the question?
So yeah, let's 360 across.
Wow.
Straight.
Yeah.
Ooh, that roof looked pretty flimsy
This is
too.
the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, that one is nuts.
I couldn't watch it.
So that is an abandoned building.
An abandoned building.
So like when you see that, like, are you? I guess I don't know.
Sometimes the filmers got to be pretty scared too if they're scared of heights.
Yeah, but I mean, like everyone I usually film with,
They're
which is
scared.
just like a group of the people that ride for Bone
Yeah,
Deth, pretty much.
they're down
Or
to
like
be
a
up
couple
there.
friends. Like we go out and ride roofs every time we go out and ride.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're always climbing up on stuff. Sometimes we climb on stuff more than we ride. So it's like
Urban
It's
climbing.
normal being up there
Yeah.
for sure.
You bring a ladder.
We've only used the ladder once.
Wow.
For an
what's
Albie
the-
clip.
What's the
The grappling hook.
grappling hook?
I've only used the grappling hook for myself once, and then we tried it recently with Josh. And like when it's something you need a grappling hook for, by the time he got up there, he's like, "This is too big." Like he wanted to roll in on this. It was seriously like a 45-foot like quarter pipe spine roof thing,
Oh,
but it had like 7 feet of vert, and the top of it was like over vert. So he got up there and he was just like, "I couldn't even peg stall dropping on
yeah.
this."
Oh.
Yeah.
There's one of those down the road. Actually, maybe you guys should look at it. It has
Right on.
there's a like a scissor lift up to it too, so you can
Damn.
kind of just kind of
That
chill
sounds
and just go
awesome.
up there. Yeah, this
That's the
is
scariest I've
fu-
ever seen.
there's a little pump in there too that is
There's
like
a-
that knee pump that is
Yeah.
like
I'd never noticed that.
yeah.
Well, for this thing, so this is like it's like one of the scariest things I've done, but also not.
It's because you had some warm ups to this. You
Yeah.
had, you had
Windy
some.
out that day.
Well,
Yeah.
I lived in this apartment building for like 6 months,
Uh-huh.
and during that 6 months, I went on that roof pretty much every day. So I looked at that thing every day for 6 months, and then I did it on the day we moved out. So I was like, this is the only time I'll ever be able to get to do this because there's no way up
Yeah.
onto that roof. And I just went down the street and I manual hopped a flat ledge 20 times in a row, no faults. Like 20 times, good pop, good manual. I'm like, if I can do that 20 times in a row, then I should be able to do that. Yeah. The only thing that spooked me about this was the ledge hop before. You had to hop a ledge and
Yeah.
then swerve into it. And then, it's a 3-story drop. So it's like, or maybe more. Maybe it's
Wasn't
4.
there a pipe on the other side too? You top over first.
It's like you
Well,
can do
the
that,
ledge,
that
I had to hop
manual
over like
every
an L
time.
ledge.
Yeah,
but
you see that right there. There's like a little hop right
Like the
there.
gap's
Yeah.
not big, but if you don't do the manual, you'll die
And I assume you did tires over it a couple times or no?
afterwards.
Afterwards. What do you mean afterwards?
Well, because Jamie, who shot the photo, he kind of fucked the photo up, so he wanted to get me just tucking
Oh,
it
that
so he
makes
could
sense.
piece the sequence together, which
Yeah.
didn't end up working out anyways. But I don't think I had hopped it. I think
that
I
was the
just
scariest thing.
that was the first go.
Is that where are you at? Are
I'm
you
on the roof.
are you
But I
filming?
was looking the
Oh
other way.
well, he.
Oh.
I was
So-
like, dude, I don't want you to do this.
It's funny because I think it was the day before I did this. We were up looking at it. And I wanted to film it the day before, and on the building I'm landing on, there's a window right here to someone's apartment, and there was a kid masturbating on his computer in the window. And I think we were just like, it was just so funny that like
It just ruined
it
it.
ruined the moment. I was like, let's do it tomorrow, fuck it.
Yeah.
But
You're
yeah, he
exhausted
was,
from laughing
I
so
couldn't
hard.
fucking watch it.
Yeah,
I actually-
I would struggle. I would struggle for sure.
It was
Because
windy that day. It was fucking windy.
It was windy. That was another factor.
is-
I mean, obviously the person who filmed
It
this
was
was
windy
scared
in, like,
too because look,
August.
look how it
I wish it
filmed
had gotten filmed better, to be
Yeah.
honest, because you can't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
another one you got to dissect, and you're like,
Yeah, a
God.
lot of my footage is like that because I don't always have like Stu or Navaz to film
Yeah.
with. It's just like handing it to like Brocam.
I mean, so it obviously something like this is, ledge 20 times, confidence 100%. There is no other option than like
yeah,
do manual jump.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like all manual hops are like that. Like,
Yeah.
or at least like
Yeah.
like manual rail hops. Like you can't not do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really sure I have seen many people eat shit on that trick.
Yeah.
Like you can really only do
Well,
that
even-
trick if you
yeah.
are
I
like.
mean, even like you had that
Hop over.
you had that photo in the Albion interview where it was like the ice on the dumpster to the gap over.
Yeah.
And it's like the dumpster ice is like kind of, it's a short dumpster. It's like it's like a sketchy thing because you're lean, you catch that little thing, and you have like a 5-6 foot gap to the loading dock, and it's just like, dude, you fucking nose in on that thing and just chest.
Yeah, you're fucked.
I don't know. It's just, obviously, confidence is key
it's
with
stuntman
everything.
shit, but it's. I think people miss that it is skill involved because if I didn't have any skills, I would have been dead by now.
Drop
Exactly.
Drop that front wheel right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this was a photo.
Yeah.
So you said it's not so scary anymore looking at it. So
that it's scary looking at it, that it doesn't look as big as it was in person. I think because of the fisheye.
Yeah. It looks it looks pretty fucking big. There's.
It's just. I think it was pretty far. I remember, and it
Yeah.
has like a
You can tell it's
turn
far.
into it. You have to like hip into it.
Yeah.
But I did this with a broken thumb in spite of Jerry Bagley.
Why?
So this is audio days?
We were on a 3-week audio trip on a Bam Margera bus. Yeah, 3 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
on a
3 weeks
Bam
is way too
Margera
long for a
bus.
filming trip.
Yeah, it is.
And like it had been like 2 weeks in, and like I'd already filmed a bunch of clips. I broke my thumb threeing like a big set. And I was pretty much like, no, I'm like, I can't ride the rest of the trip. My thumb's broken. This ain't going to be healed for like a month or two. And he was just so adamant about like me having the most clips on the trip or getting more clips, even though I was like, I'm hurt. So like when it came to this,
look, it goes
I was so
down.
like infuriated and stressed and had so much anxiety about not producing, because this was my first paying sponsor was audio. And I just felt pressured, like I had to do something. And I looked at this gap to rail like as if to come back to it. And Bagley had like started pulling cameras out and stuff.
Just
and I was
adding
just
the
like,
pressure.
what the fuck's he doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, my thumb's broken. I was convinced that if I did this gap to rail that I was going to crash and eat shit. So I like kind of like I knew I was going to, even if I made it into it, that I would hit the kink and that I would be in tons of pain.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of insane to think about, but like I did it in spite of Bagley, to show that like, yeah, I'm hurt. I can't fucking do shit. Like I can't do this gap to rail.
Yeah, it is crazy.
You know,
And
like,
then you ended up pulling it.
It was just like infuriating in my head. I look back at it and I'm like, that's insane that I did that.
Yeah.
But
did it? What happened? You laced it and it
I
didn't
did
hurt?
it. I think I slipped a foot on it maybe or something. But all the footage from that whole trip never saw the light of day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still never been put out.
Never
I
got
was gonna
put
say, I
out.
feel like
filmed
I've
it?
It was
seen
3 weeks on the road with Punjab, Rob Darden, Ben Huckey.
Who filmed it?
Aaron Nardi filmed it, but he got fired halfway through the trip.
Is he the Vault guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got fired halfway through the 3-week-long trip.
Yeah, and then like the footage just nothing.
Maybe
ever
wasn't
came of it.
filming enough.
And audio spent so much money on that trip.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later they dropped their BMX program.
Crazy.
Dude, that sucks. Because, if that footage all would have went out, you would have had like a little mini DVD, almost 3 weeks of footage.
Yeah, no,
with
that's
all
what it
this-
was
with that
supposed to be.
crew.
It was supposed to be an audio BMX like road trip DVD.
Wow.
Because
Interesting.
we weren't
It's a
just
shame
filming
how that
like.
happens sometimes.
we
I feel
weren't
like
ju-
Nardi's pretty dialed. I feel like he would still have the footage. But
I don't
I'm
think he
surprised
kept
that-
it though. I think
Oh, you handed it
because
over.
this is pre-digital. This
Yeah.
was VX.
Yeah.
This is all on tapes. So I think Bagley took all the tapes, but nothing happened with it after that.
That's
It's not the
crazy.
first time. And I don't mean to talk shit on Jerry Bagley.
Yeah.
He helped me out greatly. He's a great guy, but like
He was.
terrible team manager.
Yeah.
That happens with people sometimes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people that it's weird because he was a BMX rider himself. It confuses me when people that have experience being a professional bike rider put pressure on riders while they're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had team managers before. It's like I'm hurt. Like I can't ride. Like you want me to just like
I'm right here, dude.
hurt myself more, you know? Well, he's the least person to ever pressure
Yeah.
anyone
I'm
to do
sleeping
anything.
all the
Yeah.
time.
I think sometimes those team managers just like lose sight of what they used to do, and
Or-
they have a boss in their ear. And they're
Exactly,
Like, I
that's
gotta
what I
keep
was
my
gonna
job.
say.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
rock,
totally.
Burns, do this.
Company guy.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
it happens to even the.
I mean,
BMX
maybe
riders, it seems
maybe
like.
in his sense, like because the program was under threat, possibly, and he knew that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that he's like, oh, we have to prove it. You know,
That's
and
so
it's
weird
like
that
that's
all
a
that
type of
footage
weird
didn't go
thing.
anywhere,
But
though, and like they probably looked at that like, wow, we just spent this much money and
I
we
know.
don't have anything.
I know at some point maybe his Jerry Bagley's brother worked for audio and he had the footage all edited, ready to go, and then
Really?
he got fired.
Does that
So
still exist?
when they fired the
I don't
BMX
know.
program, I
Even
think
for
maybe
skateboarding?
just
I don't know.
maybe audio has the tapes. But
they had ramps at their warehouse up in Carlsbad and in like a cool spot behind it, and that was the only time that I would ever go
I
near
haven't heard of
audio.
them in a long time.
Yeah, I don't think they're around.
I think it's just surfing now or something. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
Shoes for surfing.
Yeah, right.
They definitely don't have a dude doing massive gap to rails with the broken thumb.
So this is not one of your scariest clips then, because I thought this
No.
was possibly. I mean, I just watched. You said surfing for the ugly broad, so I just
No,
this was. So this one
around
doesn't
this
count,
time
but we
was
can
when
but
I
we can
was
talk
like
about
my
it.
most productive. Like when I
were
was
out
like
every
doing shit
day.
like this every single
Yeah.
day, like or sometimes a few times a day. So that roof that you just showed wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because you had I think what video is it that you go
That's
from?
dope.
You go from the lower one.
Oh, it was an Osiris.
It was Osiris edit. So you had. So was
Well,
that the same day or is that?
That was
different?
the same day.
Okay.
That was the warm up. I
Okay.
did that to test out that roof.
So like where the photographer is, Dennis, he has a clip in the Osiris edit and he just jumps from the
there to
yeah.
there.
So which is, I mean, a normal person, that is a clip. You know,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a clip for sure, but
Yeah.
then it's like the same day you're going from fucking level 3
Yeah.
basically.
That one was tough because of the run up. I had to like hop a ledge,
Yeah.
90-degree turn.
I love
Did it have a
Ferbert's.
little bank in the parking lot too. Like
The knee slap.
it looks like
Yeah,
a
the
bank
knee slap. I
almost.
love it.
Like
Yeah,
No, I don't
yeah.
think so. Probably just an illusion.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, you did that.
That was sick.
And then this one, I could see why this one's frightening.
But you can't see.
Okay,
The middle of the wall
Fun
has a pillar that sticks out 2 inches.
really?
Yeah, like you can kind of see the.
Oh,
bottom
the
right
little
here.
shade right there.
You
Yeah,
see
you-
that?
Oh,
It goes
wow.
Down.
Yeah,
And
you
and,
can't
and I
see
was
that
like,
at all.
I found this spot, and I'm like, damn this wall. And then I was like, maybe you could wall right over it. So I did a flat ground wall right here, and it worked.
Huh?
A couple times I ate
Play-
shit on the flat ground one. Yeah. And this was the
20
only
times
roof,
in a row.
This is the only roof I've
It
ever.
worked this time.
This is the only roof I've ever ridden where I thought I was going to go through it because
That roof looks like shit.
it was rotting.
That
Yeah,
one.
that's what I was thinking was going to be.
It was
scary.
rotting,
Yeah.
and this was maybe one of the second to last days on an anthem trip I had with Stu, and I had gotten hurt the first day, so I was like, I got to make up for all that lost time, and it's so hard to find setups like that, like channel roof to roof like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, have to do it.
It doesn't. I mean, the run up looks choppy. You're doing a couple of
perfect.
chop cranks
Well,
in
I had to go
there,
around
like
holes.
yeah.
It was like I had to like S-turn around these little holes.
The roof held up pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
And then I got this one right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Why you called this one the Predator Gap? Just
I
because
think
you.
Sandy Carson named it the
crazy.
Predator Gap
Okay.
because I was landing into the jungle.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, it's like you pull it perfect, but there's no hope
Yeah.
to hold on any
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
You get away from it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I had hope, but I actually dug out with like next to where those bushes
How you
were.
Oh my god, this is crazy because this looks like it's. I can't believe you landed so smooth. Do you have the next clip too?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
The
I
ne-
always
the
was so
next
I could
clip-
not believe how high that is. That's one of the biggest drops ever to flat.
I
And you
did
land
that I think 5 times.
Is there a little bank? How'd you?
Yeah.
land
There's a
s-
tiny.
Well, I
little
landed
bank.
past the bank. So the clip we used was the first go,
Uh-huh.
and I overshot the bank.
That's one of the biggest drops to flat ever. I always thought.
I overshot the bank, and then I wasn't happy with it because I thought I landed like a ton of brick. I thought I did like a headbanger and shit. I'm like, I have to do it good. And I
On
did
this
it.
one, you thought you landed hard?
Yeah,
This
so I
is
did
like
it-
the smoothest drop to flat ever.
I know, but it felt like shit.
Hmm.
You know how that works sometimes. You're like, oh, that felt like it looks ugly.
I mean, I could see it.
So I
you
kept
definitely.
doing it, and
You're
then
definitely low. I could
But-
see how that would feel that way right there.
But
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
this
Crunched.
was filmed so good where you can't even tell it's a bank really. Like,
and that the ledge is pretty skinny, and it was like slightly slanted up.
mm.
And there was a ledge nearby I could practice on that had like a little drop, and I kept like clipping my back tire because it was like forcing my back end down. That was kind of creepy. But
And it's not really like a. It's not a bank. It's just like
little-
out of a.
little
It's like out of a driveway,
Like a
basically.
driveway
yeah.
down ramp, yeah.
Like not, but just
Enough-
that
enough
little
to make it
couple
look buttery
degrees.
for
Yeah,
how fucking tall it is.
dude. Because that's like that has to be like the biggest drop. Well, I guess I don't know. I was gonna say the
No.
biggest drop with the least amount of speed you've ever done. Because
Yeah,
like
definitely.
generally
Yeah.
when you do them, you're cruising.
Hauling ass,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about the MIT one? Is that taller?
I think it's the same height.
Yeah. Yeah, that clip is. I feel like everybody talks about this gap
Yeah.
or
Is
this
that-
this
that's
clip.
That's
rather.
Austin. Looks like Austin.
Yeah, that is
You're
awesome.
in the
Yeah,
air.
there's a
for
rail
so,
on
you're in
top
the air
of it
for
now.
so long.
And then that one. Oh,
You
That
guys did
one-
a crazy like 2-week Europe trip with Jeff, right?
6 weeks.
6
Six-
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
oh
okay.
my god.
Yeah, and I got swine flu on that trip. Actually, this clip right here, I had swine flu. I actually woke up from a 7-hour drive in the van, like
Swine flu gap.
on medicine, like just fever, hallucinations, like massive headache, and I woke up and we were at the spot, and I
You're
was
like,
like,
"Is this
if I'm this sick now in one day, I'm gonna be so sick in a few days. I at least have to do this. Like,
Where was this? I never seen this.
You said
thing.
France.
it's in France. It's in Bordeaux, France, I think.
So cool.
It's like South France.
That's fucking raw.
Just full
Actually,
speed.
when I hit the lip, I knew I went too fast. And I'm like, I'm not going to pull up. You can even see me like barely skim the landing. Like I almost overshot it fully. Like barely ghost skimmed it.
Yeah.
How you hit it till you could see you're like, oh shit. And you just like, instead of popping, just got it through it.
That was scary because Luke Legrand tried jumping it.
Oh, really?
And he bailed.
Oh, wow.
What the hell happened when he
landed with
failed?
his knees on the landing.
Oh,
Smacked his knees right into the landing.
On the backside of the landing?
Yeah.
Dude.
He didn't go fast.
Yeah, clearly. Luke is a savage too, so I feel like
he's
is
an undercover
like
savage.
yeah,
The crazy shit he does.
he's
I used my junior high school racing skills on this one for sure because I think that's the fastest I've ever physically pedaled.
Fuck.
Definitely.
But let's talk about the trip in general. 6 weeks. You're with Jeff and Stu. Just you three.
Sort of. I mean, well, Chester Blacksmith was on part of the trip, and then
was Chester supposed to have a part in Anthem too?
No, he was just in Europe at the
time.
Okay. Like back when he was like filming in Germany a lot and stuff.
Okay.
Who else? It was Vincent Prod, photographer.
Okay.
And Stu and Jeff and I, yeah, pretty much.
All right. So you guys are just going wherever? Like, was there a plan?
Stu had a plan.
Okay.
I mean, we started in Belgium, went to France, and then Germany, and then it ended up at the Worlds in Germany by the end of it. Yeah.
So 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
That's a long.
And I went there with
a long time.
No jacket and one pair of shoes, and it rained like torrential downpours. I think that's probably why I got so sick.
Yeah.
It was like, and I was sleeping with sex workers and like sucking on their nipples. So you really should never, when you go to like a brothel,
never suck on their nipples.
Never use your mouth. I remember I like was sucking on the sex workers' nipples, and then I look in the trash can, and it's just filled to the brim with condoms and paper towels.
You're like,
and
what
like,
did I
how
The
many
quote
people
of the
have
entire
been on
podcast.
this nipple before me today. So that's definitely how I got swine flu. It was from a sex worker's nipple, which probably came from someone else. But
you guys are probably sleeping in hostels too. I'm sure a 6 week long BMX trip.
Sort of. We were staying with BMXers for the most part.
Cool. Yeah, the hookups.
Funny, back to the Europe sex worker thing too. There's
Let's
a clip where
that.
I did a hang tooth like on like outrail.
Yep.
Over.
Yeah, and the tire
That's
explodes.
like legitimately 10 minutes after I sucked on that sex worker's nipple.
So middle of the day, sex worker,
Middle of the day,
hanger
like
drop.
12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd never seen a red light district before in my life, so I was just like, "This is sweet." I was like, "This is amazing." You could just like choose who you want to have sex with. So, and I was like, "You guys don't mind if I do this right now, do you?" And, like, no one cared. So it's funny too because when I filmed that clip, I was still like. Felt like lightheaded from coming and stuff.
That's insane. And then the swine flu came a couple days later.
And then the swine flu came about, like a few days later.
Oh my god.
And then
I always thought that hangar, off topic of sex workers, was like on East Coast for some reason. I didn't know
No, that was in
Europe.
Belgium.
Wow. Damn, so you guys stacked over there. 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah, it was a long trip.
I mean, that has to be the longest.
I would say the last week
Longest
was really
trip.
mellow though. Like
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or even the last 2 weeks, because the last 2 weeks we were in Berlin and then Cologne, and Berlin was like mostly Jeff and I wanting to party because we've been filming for 3-4 weeks, you know.
And Berlin's like the best place to party.
Yeah, especially back then. It was even crazier back then. And then it rained a lot that week, and then like the Worlds was just like that was mostly me doing metal bikes work with We the People and stuff. We didn't film anything in Cologne, I don't think, at that
Metal
point.
bikes work with We the People.
Well, yeah, we did metal bikes through We the People from 2009 to 2010.
How do I not know that?
Bone Deth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Jimmy and metal then. So that's a good. Yeah, you knew that was coming at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
metal bikes is completely done at this
No,
point.
they're back.
No, it's
They're
back. Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
like
it's been
who's
rebirthed.
who Derek's doing it?
Derek Gabbert.
Yeah,
and,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
Junkyard
Metal's
Stu's helping
awesome.
out too. And
Yes.
Jimmy's still, he's in Louisville now.
How long ago has it been since you guys revamped it?
Well, I
Well,
didn't
no,
revamp
yeah,
it,
no.
but I've put in a lot of help with it as far as like all the old files and everything,
That's
and
awesome.
slight direction of it and stuff like that, and just like even like directing Derek with like how distribution works and everything. But their Stu works for Animal, and like they've been printing stuff at Animal and everything, so it's going good now.
That's cool. It's
So
a good
where-
time. I mean,
what
it's a
was the
good time to come back when the
Yeah.
kind of the
BMX
people.
industry's doing better.
Yeah. So what? There was a time period where obviously you went from a rider, just a sponsored rider, to metal, and then Jimmy was going through, I mean, fucking
All the head injuries and stuff,
near
yeah.
death experience, and then shattered femur, and then what else am I missing? There was another, and then what?
It's
Oh, the aliens, yeah.
Aliens.
More so the government.
Yeah.
Because he got real after he had some of those really bad head injuries. He got really paranoid that he was being watched by the government and stuff. And
because he was, you know, the near death stuff. He was in a coma, medical induced coma, and you're kind of lucid in a lot of that stuff. And he would wake up and he would think that he was being, you know, probed or whatever and stuff like that. Like, I mean, Jimmy will tell you all this stuff. Like, you know, it's not a secret by any means, but those and a lot of people that, you know, I have another friend that was in a medically induced coma for, you know, a couple weeks, and he had the same experience. He was like, dude, you're out of your fucking mind. You cannot tell what's real and what's not. And it obviously, you know, affected him.
Oh yeah.
And then, so was he not able to, you know, you kind of just took the reins? You were living in Seattle at the time.
Well, I hadn't moved to Seattle yet.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's a long story.
Yeah, it's
but
a long
like
one.
2008, like right after Dead Bang came out, Jimmy and Moeller had a fallout.
Yeah.
They just weren't agreeing on things, and I think Jimmy that was right after Jimmy's head injury too. So it was just like, I think Jimmy just had all these paranoias and stuff. Nothing was adding up. So we're trying to figure out where we're going to make metal bikes with, and then
because the brand is still popular at this time, right?
Oh yeah, I
like
mean, it
brand
kind of always has been, and
camera's
such a
not on.
nostalgic
just the monitor,
company and everything. But
Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay.
I'd lose my brain quick.
So
Just
he had a
talk about
falling out with Moeller,
Yeah.
and then so he was trying to figure out.
Okay, yeah. So then I think we were actually first going to go through Sparky's, and then we the people threw out the idea of doing it, and we kind of just both suggested that like they make like I was riding their claw stuff, so I was like they make good parts. Like I'd like to make metal through here, so we kind of started it there. And Jimmy's kind of always had like someone, you know, just underneath him running metal, whereas Jimmy's always been like
Figurehead.
the idea man, you know, the face of the company and like the heart of it all.
Yeah.
But like as far as like, you know, selling it and designing it, all that stuff, there's always been someone else like Joe Carnell, Seth Holton, me, and now it's Derek. But so I took over doing all that with We the People for a while and stuff, and it grew really exhausting working with Jimmy just because of all the medical stuff he was going through, and like his head wasn't all there and everything. So I just needed to move on. So yeah.
Was it a strain on your guys' friendship? Because obviously, I mean, I feel like I've heard you say, you know, Levan and Van Homan are like your two major influences.
Definitely
so
two major influences.
It's always hard to get in a business relationship with a friend.
Yeah, I think maybe at first
friend.
What was getting to me was that we had money, but it wasn't getting spent on the company, you know? So I was just like, what's happening here, you know? So it just was kind of just like someone that's come out of a head injury like that probably shouldn't fully operate a brand, you know? I don't know.
Totally.
I kind of trailed off there. I'm kind of forgetting.
No,
what
it's
we're getting to.
Well, just like if you guys are still friend, you know, like was there ever a period where you guys were like, hey, we're not really talking anymore because, you know, friendship
No,
stuff?
I think that our friendship definitely dwindled after that, but that was maybe more so. That didn't have anything to do with the company.
Okay.
I don't think. I think we just differentiated different things. You know, like I've never been a partier.
Yeah.
I've never been into doing drugs and drinking or any of that stuff, and I just kind of wanted to get away from that whole scene in Seattle and everything. So
it was definitely the cha-cha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny when having these conversations, I haven't thought about like being in Seattle. So and I'm like, I've been hammered with Levan at the cha-cha in downtown Seattle before. You know, like it's like interesting in that I forget. You know. So yeah, I mean,
it's way too much of a party lifestyle up there.
Yeah, I mean, he would just. I mean, he was. I mean, I don't want to. He was drinking a lot. Yeah,
he manages
the party.
He can control it.
Yeah. So he was drinking. He was drinking basically to the point of being like, hey, he needs help getting home, quite a bit.
Oh, it was getting to the point where I had to carry him home, and like even like in Austin, like, he was pissing on Stu's door, like It was bad. And I even, was trying to suggest for him to get help and everything and like stop all of it and all that stuff. And it just kind of got to the point where you can't
babysit.
I hate using the word babysit because Jimmy uses that a lot.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, I felt like the dad. It turned into from Jimmy being dad to me being dad.
Yeah. So, what? I guess you learned a lot from doing the stuff in metal, though, and that helped you. That helped you make Bone Deth an actual company.
It's funny because I never wanted to own a BMX brand. It's something I never wanted, and even to this day, I'm just like. It's not. I love having it and doing it, but it's not something I ever dreamed of. You know, it just kind of happened because I think I also have a certain aspect of the dirtier part of BMX that needs to still exist, and I almost feel like at this point now we're like one of the last like grittier companies left. Now that FBM's gone.
Yeah, that's real.
But I learned a lot.
It'd be like there was like the band, band was around for a little while and stuff like that. Yeah, there's kind of not.
It's really slowly fading.
Yeah,
it's slowly faded away in the last decade. Yeah. But that kind of motivates me to keep it going for sure, and getting my friends bikes and stuff and making cool stuff. But back to the question, I did learn a lot from metal bikes during those years because I pretty much taught myself how to do all of it. And then Sparky's, it's definitely a lot different. It's changed so much over this. I'm actually really happy with us with Sparky's now. It's going.
Okay, you guys are still with Sparky's.
We're still with Sparky's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's a lot different than it was in the beginning. In the beginning, there was certain things like I couldn't sell. We couldn't have our own store and sell stuff.
Yeah.
Like it would only go through Sparky's.
Yeah.
Now I can make whatever I want, but also they do the hard goods and it works out awesome. I think.
Cool. What's the majority of your guys' sales? Because I know you guys do a lot more soft goods, or at least at a point
nowadays,
we're doing a lot more soft goods.
We make more money with soft goods.
Okay.
Because we make a shit ton of soft goods nowadays. But I don't know. Even with the hard goods, like just this past year, we sold out of everything the first 3 weeks it came out.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, our stuff's just going quick.
Like,
and our seats have always been popular. The leopard vibrator seat, that's what's kept us alive over the years, for sure.
Except in the Bible Belt.
Except what?
Except in the Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt.
Well, didn't you have something? You had something where it was I'm not with this devil seat with a vibrator. I'm not.
Oh no! One guy. It was more homophobia.
Oh, okay.
A guy was. I don't want this faggot seat in my shop because it says vibrator on it. It's vibrator.
Wow.
Pink packaging. Yeah. There's been a couple shops that were like that about our stuff. I had always thought that people would be
the butt on them.
Yeah.
Fucking people don't like that either.
Well, the thing is, I always thought that people would get mad about like the Pornhub or the penetrator cranks.
Yeah.
Burning rubbers, meaning like condoms, stuff like that. But more so, people get mad about our seat, or they think that it actually vibrates.
That's
you get
a bad Yelp review because the seat didn't.
There was a bike shop in Alaska.
Batteries in this thing.
There was a bike shop in Alaska that was like, we can't carry sex toys.
They weren't Inuit.
And I'm like, it doesn't vibrate.
Oh my god! Yeah, they probably don't want to put it up
just
on
a
their
name.
shelf. Yeah. It actually looks like a vibrator.
Which I actually did make one vibrator seat that vibrated kind of. I would still like to actually make a real vibrating seat. I think it would sell great.
Yeah, probably would.
Different shops than you sell to now,
Oh,
probably.
I'd sell it online. Sell it to sex stores and stuff.
Yeah. So Bone Deth not slowing down by any means. I feel like
it's been doing a lot better the last 2 years.
That's
sure.
awesome. That's amazing. That's great to hear. Obviously.
Yeah.
So, wasn't there something? A guy with a bike shop that followed you guys around on a trip.
Oh, the murder guy.
Which murder guy?
I forget the name of the shop.
I mean, you probably shouldn't even say it.
It was in a claw trip.
Uh-huh.
And so this guy had originally hit me up to do, he just opened up a bike shop. He wanted Bone Deth to come there. He's obsessed with Bone Deth metal bikes. In a claw, we were already doing a trip to Atlanta. So I had mentioned to Paul, I'm like, we should do a shop stop at this shop. This guy seems pretty cool. I was the first one to get to Atlanta. The guy picked me up at the airport. And on the way... Oh, wait, he picked me up at the airport. On the way there, he's like showing me all these things that I would die on. Like spots that are way too big.
Yeah.
And then we put my bike together at his shop. He's chugging like a 6-pack. And then we get in his car and he tells me that he's just got out of jail like a year ago because he went to jail for drinking and driving and killing somebody.
Jesus.
I'm like, this guy just chugged a bunch of beers. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
And then The dude had like a Jimmy Levan metal bike shrine with like candles around it and everything.
No
like,
way.
Just nuts shit.
The poster.
And then the last night of the trip, we all went out, the CLOT team, we all went out to dinner with this guy, and he offered to pay for dinner. Halfway through the night, he's going back to the bathroom, back and forth. Pretty sure he's going to the bathroom and doing meth. And he'd come back like just like fully like fucking totally spazzed out, smashing glasses, I fucking love a claw. Breaking the glasses in the restaurant to the point where like people were like, "You guys gotta leave."
Yeah.
And then like he went to pay the tab, his card declined. He starts breaking shit, screaming. Oh, and even before this, he was grabbing Ashley Charles by the shirt and being, "You're gonna ride from my shop," like threatening him and shit.
What the hell?
So we just left. We walked back to the hotel.
Left him there.
Just left him there, and then it started downpouring rain, and then. The hotel we were at, it's like one of those ones where like you need a key to even get into the doorway because it's like all locked off. This guy's like calling my phone, and everyone's like, "Don't let that guy in. That guy cannot come in here." And then I shut my phone off for an hour, turn it back on, and I got all these texts like threatening to kill me, like, "You're fucking dead. I will fucking kill you." Locking me out, like it was insane. And then
I'm like, fine.
then
What's the
it's
name
been
of this shop?
hours.
I'm gonna make sure. Is it?
it's been his name was Chad Myers.
What's the name of the shop? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It had numbers in it. It was like 4101 BMX or something.
4130 BMX.
No, but it was like scrambled. It was something weird. But this guy kept still calling my phone. And I'm like, I'm going to go check to make sure he's not like outside. It's
He's
downpouring
outside,
rain.
isn't he?
The guy, me and, who was it? I always forget his name. Why? Ben, who worked for the Albion.
Ben from Albion.
Was it Ben?
McPherson?
No, maybe it was someone else. Why do I always, who was the other guy that did the Albion besides Bancroft?
Benson.
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 Yeah.
Benson. Me and Benson went and
Thanks.
looked.
I googled Chad Myers BMX meet and greet in Atlanta from a Claw BMX. Thanks again to Chad Myers.
But yeah, me and Benson went down to like look in the lobby. The dude is at the door in the pouring rain, staring through the glass,
Just methed
just
out.
staring there, staring at us. We went back out. We didn't leave the hotel the whole night. And then the next morning, I wake up to a text. I was like, "Hey guys, it was really awesome having you here. I hope you come back soon." Just like, wow, what a nut.
Atlanta,
the
Atlanta
part about
BMX shop,
drugs and alcohol make you
1101.
fucking
The
crazy.
part about the meth, I didn't think he was doing meth. He
knew
pulled
he was
me to the bathroom and was like, "Here, have this." Wanted me to snort meth with him. I'm like, "I don't snort meth." He's like, "You have a sprocket called the Speed Freak, which is named after Lemmy, who does speed." And I was like, "Yeah."
I mean,
but
he
that
makes a
doesn't
strong
mean
point.
that I do speed. He was so pissed that I wouldn't do meth with him.
It's probably his first time. He's like, Burns is gonna love this. Like,
I love this meth shit.
yeah.
Let's-
He's just trying it out for the first time.
Let's talk about that because obviously your persona online and your bike riding, you get the double whammy of like, hey, here's a bunch of drugs, and would you like to send yourself off of this roof onto this rail?
Yeah.
Is,
Oh, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
like it has to be everywhere
Everyone
you
thinks
go.
that I like. There's just rumors forever that go that I eat roadkill on road trips with my butter knife and like stupid shit, like, or that like I do tons of acid and heroin and
Yeah,
or that I do have my own sex dungeon with like
that's true.
prostitutes in my
Yeah,
house
that
and
was
stuff.
true. That's
not
the
far.
boneyard.
That's
Yeah,
not
Well,
far.
not that it's not far off, but it's not like I have like
it's not a dungeon.
place
They're not
now,
locked
like
in
I
there.
have gimps
Now
in my
it's great,
basement and
yeah.
shit. You know, I have the costumes, but I don't. You know.
So you just get crazy rumors. You're just like, how the fuck did you hear this?
I mean, I'm not surprised when I hear the stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
You have a video with like women
You've had to have-
slime and people coming
Yeah.
from the grave. People, are probably
but
like, "This
people
guy's
also
insane."
people sometimes will come and stay with us, and they think it's like that 24 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, you know, a lot of that stuff is like production shoots.
Mhm.
Like,
People are getting paid.
like that's
I
just
pay
not
those
like
people.
what it looks
yeah.
like in my living room 24 hours.
But the
a day.
boneyard was different.
The boneyard
It did-
was like that.
Yeah.
I will admit that. It kind of was like that to an extent. But that was a year and a half, 2 year span.
Yeah, 10 years of experience though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking mental.
But
Insane.
like, I think some people come and stay with me sometimes and think that there is going to be constant
Yeah.
shit happening, or that I am going to want to drink the handle of whiskey that they got for me.
Yeah. Well, like I mean, I think back the San Diego days was I could see there'd be like a spot, you know, like a setup, and you would light up, and you'd be like, oh fuck, that's a fucking sick setup, and then there'd be like a homeless person, and you're like, oh fuck, that's a fucking crazy ass homeless person, and you'd light up the same way. It was like the same experience. I felt like, because you get like a clip. You're looking for a clip.
Oh well, yeah,
you know,
not
like
even that, but just like more like eccentric weirdo people.
Yeah.
You see them, it's entertaining, you know, or like.
But you'd like pull, you know, like I think there's one experience you're like, hey, pull over, let's talk to this person, you know, like.
It depends.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
something's already
it's probably
happening there.
It's one of those things. It's probably not that I remember the exact details, but it's notable to me. But it's probably not notable to you.
People think that he fucks with them or we fuck with them.
Yeah.
People, so it's not even the case.
Yeah.
Back home, like we all know everybody by names and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have local dudes. There's repeat.
Yeah.
Like you know all of them.
We bring blankets and shit.
Yeah.
Like from work and stuff. Like.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing with the girls, because I felt like you've
it's all
you
friends,
felt,
really.
felt, I've seen you like field stuff where it was like, hey, you know, no, we're not subjecting women to this, or objectifying women. It's like it's a
art,
different,
man.
it's a different
It's
type.
like almost everyone that we shoot stuff like that already does stuff like that, or they're friends that haven't done that and want to do stuff like that, and it's all fun.
Yeah.
Like it's never.
We allow people to be.
It's not coerced
weird,
or something.
Weird.
Yeah.
People are afraid
Exactly.
to do it sometimes,
I mean,
you know?
some people take it the wrong way, definitely, but those people are just closed-minded, I guess. You know.
Yep. Speaking of, you had a quote in a 2018 Dig interview. I'm trying to.
Great.
BMX, yeah. See, I research.
Yeah.
BMX was an escape from the jocks, something artistic and active that isn't a sport. Yet these days, it's become rampant with jocks, homophobes, and racists. 2018.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gotten any better? Because it's kind of
Well, I think
parlays
my
into being
quote is a
outspoken.
little bit exaggerated in the sense that, like,
It's a strong statement. Of
it's
course.
a strong statement in the sense that I don't think it's something. It's there definitely because I see it. You know, like, and BMXers in the deep woods of Louisiana. These are the people I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
obviously not all BMXers, but BMXers always have been pretty homophobic.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
Just
No, that's true.
Americans are in general.
Yeah.
So it definitely happens within BMX quite a lot. You know.
Yeah.
I did a trip to New Orleans 2 years
Let's
ago.
pull this thing closer. Just so
And I went to New Orleans and like they were saying the N word every 2 seconds just for like.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Yeah.
Different parts of the world too.
Different parts
of the
You know,
world.
that's why you could say like
That's what I'm
BMX,
saying.
like it's
Let's-
just whatever.
Any
yeah.
any
Race,
large
like,
group
you
of
know?
people, there's always going to be a percentage of assholes and
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
else.
sure.
But I generally like to think that you take a sample of the United States,
Right.
and then you take a sample of BMXers in the United States, and I like to think they're a little more progressive, open-minded.
Oh, I think
than-
so
Well,
too.
that's the whole
You know,
side of
so-
it. That's true.
so
I was just about to say, I think
Yeah.
majority of BMXers are just friendly, well-rounded, open-minded
Yeah.
people.
Well,
You have to
you
be.
find the
Yeah.
common
You know?
ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Um,
And it gives
Yeah,
you
because
ways to meet other
you
people
get
and-
introed
But we
into
also
people
have to
based off
think
of
sometimes
BMX.
that
Different neighborhoods,
BMX
you do all that stuff.
Yeah.
BMX is big in the sense that you're gonna have varieties of every type of person, you
Mhm.
know, and I think that some things just catch on, like I don't know, just some small things I've seen here and there, or after just in the last few years, like somewhere like Facebook, ever since like 2016, everyone's a little bit more political.
Yeah.
And all the kids that I'm friends with on Facebook that you see posting things that didn't post that shit before 2016, all the racist shit they're posting, homophobia, transphobia, all that shit is just like, I didn't see that before, you know, and then you see it and you're like, damn, it's a lot more of this shit in BMX than I thought.
Yeah.
You know?
No. So you're obviously very outspoken on platforms like that. Has it negatively affected you at all? Like I assume you get, like Nyquist posts something about Bernie in 2016 or something like that, and then there's all these comments like
Yeah.
unfollow or something, and it's like most riders stay away from political conversations where I feel like at points you've gravitated to it. So why?
I think
why,
people
I guess?
stay away from it, maybe because either they don't really care that much, or they're afraid of losing that following. They're afraid of not having that favorism. Where that's not been any reason why I've ever ridden. So it's like I'm gonna be me and speak the way I think. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't care what the repercussions are, especially to me. I see it as an advantage because I don't want some racist homophobe wearing a Bone Deth shirt,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then we've lost some Bone Deth followers, and I'm kind of glad that we lost them because they were people that see the Bone Babe stuff as like over sexualized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, of course it's sexualized, but it's because sex is great. It's healthy. It's healthy to be horny.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But there's also people that see it as like they think that we're chauvinists, and they're stoked on that. They're like, yeah, fucking rape those bitches. It was just like, no,
Get back
no,
no,
please take the Bone Deth shirt off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if anything, it's better. I think.
Yeah.
You know?
It filters them out.
Do you think have you had any good comments? Because I've been of the mind lately, like I chime in at points too, and I just don't like to see misinformation. I like to
that's
see
inevitable.
and I like to see, hey, like maybe there's an opportunity to change this person's mind.
Yeah.
And if I chime in a little bit and I see it's not going anywhere, then I'm out. Like I don't really care. But like, do you think have you had like genuine impact on people where you're like,
definitely.
Hey,
yeah. I think I've grown exhausted of it a little bit
yeah.
lately, especially after this summer with all the protests.
Yeah,
and stuff,
I mean,
it's
it's been
just
a hell of a
like,
year.
Oh my God,
yeah,
man.
It's been a
But,
crazy year.
yeah.
And when you're not talking to someone in person too, just the commenting, it's just like
you
so hard to
can't-
get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you know what, no matter what whose points are trying to get, you gotta like just talk to the person one on one.
Yeah,
Like if you're trying to talk
on
to
the
10
internet,
people at once, it's like
everything looks passive aggressive on the internet
Yeah.
because everyone's seeing themselves as being attacked sometimes.
Right.
So it's hard to decipher what's actually happening there.
Yeah,
But when people
it's-
start using the N-word or like he's just straight up like being racist and stuff, it's like it's still not tolerable. You know?
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
I have a policy of not deleting anybody though, because I feel like if I don't have the opportunity to like if they keep posting fucked up shit and I'm not there to be like, hey, this is kind of fucked up, then they win.
Yeah,
you know, like
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. I have friends from like whatever back in the day or something, or even bike riders. You know, like I posted something there was like the minimum wage thing, and I'm like, hey, this ain't really an arguing point, and he's like, hey, you're kind of right. You know, like, and it's like that's. But I see the dude at OB all the time. You know,
minimum wage thing.
like it was like oh, this guy's making like oh, they make $7 now they're making 15, and now my 15, the guy that was working hard for 15 still makes 15, and it's like, well, yeah, but like.
It's not right.
Then that doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Like $15, he still makes $15. Like
people to
this,
suffer because you're not getting more.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, hey, that's not really like an argument for these people to not make a livable wage. And he was like, I kind of see it.
Equality doesn't mean less for
you
you.
should try and
Yeah,
get
if he
shit more.
Yeah, if he wants to argue that like, oh, it's gonna make something cost more or whatever, that's okay. That's an actual argument. But like,
Well, then he'll start making more money. Well, I would hope.
Yeah, but whatever. Aside from the point is that like meanwhile, I could be like, I don't disagree with it, or I disagree with this guy, so I'm going to get rid of him. But I just want to keep him so I can,
definitely.
have
I
an
don't think
influence,
I've only ever will block people that are like.
I think when it turns
just have a
excessively
conversation.
harassing.
when it turns like hateful.
Yeah,
when you
hateful.
start getting hateful.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta go.
Yeah, it gets a little bit weird.
That shit, you know?
So you have chilled out on it though a little bit, just like
I try not to
especially
get too in depth with the conversations with people because right off the bat you can tell if someone's not going to change their mind.
Yeah.
Whereas people that are listening and actually engaging in the conversation, a lot of them might even change my mind, on something. So that's good. I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
But when someone's just sitting there name calling and just using
it's a
speech,
it's
you can
pointless.
just see it real fast.
Yeah,
like
and
if you're
then
trying to talk to
some
someone, then the response is just like they didn't even read what I said, and it's
No.
just like blah. You're like, oh my god,
It's a waste of time.
Do I have to dissect this and respond now? Like just
all
so
brainwashed.
A lot of times I'm doing that stuff since my computer's like 12 years old now. It takes forever. I'm doing Bone Deth work at home, and I'm just like waiting for that thing to download.
I hate that.
I get stuck
And you
on
get on
there,
your
so
phone,
it's
and then
just
you've been
like,
on your phone for 10 minutes. Yeah, it
it's
sucks.
the worst.
How much? Wait, what's in the slime?
What's in the slime?
Yeah,
Well,
what
it
is?
depends.
What's that? Depends.
Secret ingredient.
Yeah.
A couple different.
Oh, what is in these lines?
Yeah, like what? How
most of
how
the-
do you make slime?
Most of the Bone Deth videos are just green biodegradable packing peanuts and water. And occasionally I'll add some washable green paint in there. That's about it, really.
Okay. And what's it? How I don't even know where to go from there. I was just
It's
trying
funny
to
how
change the
much
subject.
I get asked about slime stuff, and we haven't even done anything slime with Bone Deth in like
10 years.
it's been a long time.
It's just
now.
that
The
one
sur-
video
all the
had a lot of
surfing,
it.
yeah.
Dirty Sniff had a lot of
it.
slime,
Dirty
but
Sniff,
like
yeah.
all that slime
Slime.
footage was filmed in like 2012.
Wow.
Yeah,
So to you, it's like such a thing in the past.
It's
We're
such
like,
a thing in the
slime, slime,
past,
slime.
yeah.
There's an impact.
So 2009.
Is there
I've
like
used slime in over 10 years.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
let's talk about your influence with making videos, because obviously like entertainment is key, and you know you guys do the sound effects on certain things
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, is there an action movie, I think is what you've called it before?
yeah.
Is that
Well, yeah, we try to make our videos more entertaining than a standard BMX video. And I blame that on FBM and Little Devil. Because that's what I grew up, that's what we all grew up watching, and that's how we saw BMX as being the coolest way it was. And we kind of, I mean, obviously Bone Deth is way different than like FBM and Little Devil, but I feel like we fit in the same genre, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, I've just always, when we made Surfing for the Ugly Broads, I was like, oh, I want to make a video the way I want to make a video. Girls, more bums, like how they are in Baker videos. Like, I always liked the Baker videos because they showed the raw shit you saw on the street.
It's all street riding.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to do too. I mean, we added some of the dumb antics in there and everything, but that's just us
being you?
because we like stupid, like monster sci-fi shit, like campy stuff. And
Or even like Billy Madison. Or, like funny shit. From
yeah, just
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
shit. We like, and I grew up watching Pops
90s
commercials that had really dumb kink ads and stuff.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
like, we've just always tried to keep that spirit alive, I guess, with a BMX brand.
Yeah, sometimes, especially like it even be like the most amazing video riding wise, but you know, an hour long, it's so good when someone has like a creative idea to break it up in the middle.
Yeah.
Like intros
Totally.
and just things that are like, wow, like that changes
Yeah.
your whole mood up from like banger part, banger part, banger part. It makes your mind kind of like, fuck, an hour of this is really hard
Yeah.
to dissect sometimes.
I mean, Bone Deth's always been more than a BMX company.
Mhm.
It's, I mean, we do like shows and stuff, like music, like rock and roll shows, and
Yeah, what's up with the band now if you moved to Boston?
I mean, we're still doing it, but just back and forth when I go there, I guess. I mean,
Okay.
we can't play shows.
Yeah, I guess
so-
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
You
kinda-
can't even do that anyway.
Yeah,
If you wanted to
yeah.
right
So
now.
I'm not really missing too much.
yeah. Okay.
Were you guys playing a lot of shows in Austin when you guys were all together?
I think we only did 4 shows. Well, we started the band loosely. I've only been playing bass for like 4 years, so like Albie and I like loosely started it, and then just a year and a half ago we started doing shows. I think we only did like maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
Sick. Now let's take a little break.
Bug
Yeah,
hungry?
bug hungry,
Hungry.
but it feels good. That name comes from a bum, because the name of the Dirty Sniff was the Dirty Sniff, but it feels so good. That was the undertitle.
Yeah.
Oh wait, was it longer than that? But it feels so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh no, it was butt ugly, but it feels so good. The Dirty Sniff, butt ugly, but it feels so good. And we were hanging out with this homeless guy who was freaking out of his mind, and we're like, "Can you say butt ugly, but it feels so good?" And he just said, "Well, you know, if you're bug hungry, but it feels so good." We're like, "All right, that's the band name."
Sick.
Justin Benthian was curious about favorite stories from A-Town Trash, B-Town Philly era.
I don't really know too many. I mean,
Is that not a good question? The only other question that we haven't covered is what it's like to date a porn star, so you could just go straight to
well,
that
I
one if
never
you want.
have.
Oh, okay. Well, then fucking 0 for 2, Justin.
I've dated sex workers, but no porn stars.
Oh, okay. Well,
I guess the porn star is a hard definition. Like, I've dated girls that have done porn, but not like, they're not like
Active.
stars. You know what I mean? Like,
No, Ron Jeremy. You were talking
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
one of them kind of, but she only ever did one.
all right.
It was a Hustler DVD, but it wasn't like,
She wasn't out. You weren't like saying bye, babe, and she was going to work all day while you're going riding, and she was doing.
yeah,
porn.
no, it's never
Yeah.
been that way.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a question to ask, but yeah, it's like that's kind of.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Alright.
I've always
What about
dated and had friends in all those industries and everything, which
Yeah.
is partly why Bone Babes exists.
Yeah, is that's still part of it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Kinda
as long as
off
Bone
and on.
Deth exists, that aspect of it will always exist.
What about the sex worker? Was that like a European thing, or is there sex workers in America? Like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's all
sex
OnlyFans
workers
is
are
for.
everywhere. I mean, it's just a more proper, appropriate term for prostitute or stripper or
stripper. Yeah. I guess
stripper
so.
is a sex worker.
Yeah.
Anything that's
Yeah.
like anything remotely
All the only
sexually
sexual.
involved, you know, yeah.
All sex workers.
Yeah.
Dominatrix or
Se-
sex
the
workers.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's
They're all
sex
sex-
worker.
yeah.
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 Okay.
I guess I just think of sex worker like when you're talking about red light district, you know, like in
Yeah.
that sense. But yeah, it's a
Well, I
way,
just-
way
I
more
mean,
vague
Yeah.
term.
It's just a nicer way to say prostitute. Or hooker, you know? Like,
Yeah, hooker sounds harsh.
kind of
Well-
outdated terms, I think.
Yeah.
But
Let's do these favorite clips, and I think we wrap it up. I think we're pushing. Yeah, we're over 2 hours right now. So I mean, we took a break, but these are my favorite clips, just from what.
yeah.
That clip sucks.
Yeah, like setup stuff.
What was that from?
The dirty sniff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is there any backstory with this stuff? Has anybody? I feel like
That's
So
a Boston
that
clip.
one, the only cool thing
That's
I really feel
amazing.
about this is that we found that spot in like 2009.
mm-hmm. Somebody did it recently, right? Or is it? So I
Someone
feel,
else wrote it recently.
I feel like maybe I saw something from it recently.
I haven't
but-
ever seen
No,
this.
that's middle of
Besides this
bumfuck.
clip.
No.
that's like
Dorchester.
no one would ever find that
Yeah.
spot.
Okay.
That's like tucked away in the suburbs of Massachusetts.
Just,
That like
just give Dennis the tour.
Yeah.
yeah.
The fucking
I can't step to burn spots.
not.
I've been trying to ride that spot for 7 years.
Oh, why?
There's always
What?
cars.
Well,
Cars?
it's more than that, I think. Yeah, there's always cars there. And then we went there, and it just so happened the day we went there, or I think we found out the day before that they were repaving the parking lot.
But
So
he
I
was
went
living
there
in
like the
Austin
day
at
it
the time,
dried.
too.
That's an
But always
amazing
coming
spot.
back.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
That's like that spot shouldn't exist.
Are all your like favorite parts on YouTube now? Because I know like most of your parts, all your parts are basically DVDs.
yeah.
Right. Like
I think Anthem's not on, is it?
Anthem is.
Anthem's on there, I think.
okay.
I think maybe. I think Surfing for the Ugly Broads part isn't on there anymore because our YouTube channel got deleted.
Why?
Too
Nudity?
much adult content without putting it as adult content, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now you have to like.
Which
18
was
up.
weird because they didn't have that option when we back in like the late.
It's
2000s.
just started in 2019.
Yeah, so there's videos we uploaded that have
20.
like nipples and stuff in it from
Yeah.
like 2010.
Yeah.
I would obviously mark that as 18 plus now, but
Yeah.
yeah, our whole channel got deleted like a year ago. So we
Fuck.
just recently I haven't uploaded old stuff, but we started a new one like a year ago. But
So all your parts, your favorite parts are on YouTube except for that one. You think?
I mean, none of my parts are my favorite parts. My
Oh, yeah,
favorite
we did- we
parts
already
are of
talked
other
about-
people.
okay, Your
But I
parts
feel
that
what
you.
you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
Your
the video
complete
parts
parts.
of me. I don't know what would maybe there's a few things missing on there, but
Yeah. I just like this one because of the double bar movement.
oh yeah, it's that
Yeah.
coalition stem I was riding during this time. It slipped on everything.
Yeah, this was
This manual. Is
yeah.
So fun.
I feel like this was technically. I mean, I don't know.
Crazy. than the other one.
Yeah, but like besides the roof, obviously the roof.
That Jeff
I think the Atlanta one that I did on the cloud trip is crazier
Oh yeah.
because it's like a curb.
This one's definitely would be harder than the roof one, but less death factor. You can
Yeah.
still
Well,
die on this.
yeah,
The other one was just 9 stories up and so much
that one
stunt going on.
this
I
one
feel like
got in
safe.
there
The
twice.
Atlanta one was like a quick curb, and when you manual up onto shorter things, it's harder to get
Oh, yeah.
into that like pop, you know?
It's more of a just fuck it. I hope I land good on this.
Yeah,
manual.
exactly. And the other one was over a fence with a drop. That one was
There's
only
that
like
fast plant
chin
tape.
height drop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, fast land table. I mean, obviously, like I felt like I don't know.
That
You could
is
do these on
insane.
like I think I always think of the curb pumpkin photo that you and Jeff Allen
that
shot.
I hate.
You hate that one?
Hate that photo.
Dude, I love
It doesn't
that
even look like a
photo.
table to me. It looks like I'm doing a 1-footed turn bar off a curb.
Oh, really? Dude, that's
I
so
can't
funny that
stand that
I mean,
photo.
maybe it's just the cool.
Jeff
It's
Allen
just
brings that up every time.
I was actually
Really?
mad
We
when
know
that
each
got printed,
Yeah.
and I think whoever I was with at the time was like, "You can't be mad that you had a photo printed in a magazine."
you could be
And
mad.
I'm like, "Well, I'm at the point now where I've
you
had
could be
so many
you could
printed
be
that I
you could be
can't
mad at
be."
Jeff
Yeah.
Allen for sending us a
Yeah.
photo you didn't like, but you can't be mad
Yeah.
at us for liking the photo.
Yeah.
So that's just me passing the
Jeff
buck
just had
right
a
there.
baby the other day.
Oh, congrats to
Okay,
Jeff. That's
congrats,
awesome.
Jeff.
Did he ever get the Hasselblad lens fixed? I was joking. Oh, this is
I don't think
broken. Fast plant table. This one.
Eyeball.
Yeah, I love this. He
Still
thought
got
his
the
he thought his
scar right
he
here.
thought his eye fell out.
Well,
Why?
It technically kind of did. You ever seen those people that can pop their eyeballs out of the socket?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to my eye.
And then you had to get
I
it back in, or it just did it really
fractured
fast.
my eye socket right here and like
Whew.
cut open right here. I hit my face so hard and quick, just the corner of it, that my eyeball was out. I felt it out, like, and I right here, I push it back in. As soon as I push it back in, just excruciating pain.
Oh my!
You
everywhere.
I think I'll turn it up a little bit for you. You can hear him like.
Oh. Oh, and I was running because I was running, but I start going this way because my
You're just,
equilibrium
yeah, you were
all out of balance.
You were like kind of like a
couldn't
2-year-old
see,
right
my eyes were
there.
over here, and I'm like trying to run straight, but I'm like going this way.
It's funny when you look back, like, why would you just take off running? Like, what is that gonna do? Just fuck! I gotta get away from this situation.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I mean,
Get
like,
away from the fall.
The car just like stuff like this is
Oh
like it
my
just like
God.
adds so much value.
See, that's like something that, like, if I were to have a camera every single time I've been out riding,
Yeah.
it'd be way worse shit.
Yeah,
I've been
oh,
hit
I'm
by
sure.
so many cars.
Really.
Yeah, I would say I've definitely been hit over 10 cars.
You hitting a car or them hitting you?
Them hitting me.
Fuck.
You just don't care about a spotter. You're just like, fuck it. If a car comes,
You just don't have.
Or having someone look for traffic,
That's
but
what I'm
then
saying,
someone
like,
just
cars-
comes out. Or I rode brakeless for 6 months. The only time I ever rode brakeless in my life was for 6 months, and during those 6 months, I got hit by 4 cars.
wow.
Like, I just ride too recklessly and fast while like bombing through the
Just
city
cruising,
and stuff
yeah.
that it's just no need for me to ride brakeless.
Yeah, that's understandable. What I guess since on the subject of not having spotters, you filmed the clip
That's
of.
crazy.
I know, dude. I mean, like think of them.
Look how close.
How the moment there's like literally like
that car.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like 2 seconds. Like I actually, it's actually pretty surprising that they even fucking saw you. To be honest,
Yeah.
like they said you could hear the tires screech like there.
It was a slow road though too. It was like
Yeah.
a road in the city that's like kind of just all apart.
yeah, but even if they were just like 2 seconds earlier, you would have.
Well, that's
you would've-
happened before.
Yeah. Fuck.
So yeah.
You filmed the clip of Albie hitting the ladies.
No,
No?
Busby filmed it.
Busby filmed it.
I was a spotter up top to
oh,
make
so
sure
it's
no
your
one.
fault.
It's not. We had it's Kyle Orico's fault.
Okay.
So I was the spotter up top to make sure no one was coming out of the doors where I was. You can see my red dyed hair in the clip.
Oh, okay.
But then we had someone in the bottom.
You know the clip I'm talking about, right? Okay.
And then Kyle was around the corner. He was supposed to watch for the people in the corner. He was the one that fucked up.
What was he doing?
I don't know. You can't see him in the footage because he's like behind the
He
camera,
walked off.
kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What-
People blame me for that. Like, I could see you in the corner. You didn't say anything. I'm like, even if I said anything, like, even so, like, by the time they come around the corner, Albie's already in the air.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
see from up there.
Yeah. What was the consequence? Like, were the ladies fine? Were they
I think
like,
physically they were fine.
Yeah.
Like, it really was just his tire just swiped them,
yeah.
took their ankles out. But, I mean, I don't know. We got out of there as
You
fast
just
as
ran,
we could. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that clip's crazy. Yeah.
Oh god, that is you've like sold that clip and stuff like that.
Albie has, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Albie
like-
and Busby have
yeah.
like licensed
Yeah.
places.
Oh, that gosh.
It was on Scarred, I think, wasn't it?
Was it?
The rail that
This isn't. Is
no,
this?
no, that was the chain one,
yeah.
Curved wall red one.
Is this in Berkeley? Or
That's
is this
in Boston.
is this in
gone
Boston?
now.
R.I.P.
Oh, okay.
That's at Roxbury Police Station.
Dad kick you out?
that's sick.
No, Roxbury is like
I'm just fucking around.
the hood kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Boston.
What was you two tire it was the idea nose bonk?
The
but-
idea was nose bomb.
Yeah, but still, it's
But
still
then I
so
kind of
fucking
liked
sick.
it better.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking sick, dude. That had to be so frightening
It's so fast.
for me.
Actually, I
But-
wanted to do it again, and then Wiz filmed the clip, and he's like, keep that. He's like, that's way cooler.
Oh, that's sick. You take Wiz's advice on stuff
Yeah,
like that.
he was
yeah.
like, it looks more like a skateboard trick what you did,
That's cool. Yeah.
like just skimming across.
There's a similar one at Berkeley, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's way different though.
But it's smaller and there's like a
It's
kink.
like a stair to jump to circle thing like
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
way different.
Yeah. And then all this UCI stuff, I mean, coming from somebody who like kind of immortalized spots at UCI,
Yeah.
I just felt like oh, he's doing big shit at UCI, you know, Dave Young-esque stuff at UCI, and
Yeah.
then this gap is like I feel like nobody
knows how far it is.
had ever seen it or
Oh.
put it together that was like jumpable. You know, you think of
Yeah.
all the fucking pros that have rolled through UCI and
Mm-hmm.
nobody has jumped that thing. I don't know. I love UCI. So as far as like nowhere fast, West Coast street, mid school stuff, that's like
That tuck is so
Yeah.
sick.
my like
That's
shit.
one clip that I'd never cared for.
It's funny. That's what I mean, though.
Just
Like
I've jumped a million gaps.
that's why I like doing this, because I think these are just the shit that stands out to me and that like I enjoy for my own personal reasons. So
I do remember that thing. It took me a couple tries to get over it. I think I cased it once or twice.
Fuck.
Because the run up was kind of fucked.
Yeah, that's. And then this thing too.
Is that LA?
Yeah, that's the spooky
That's LA.
one.
Yeah, that was.
That day was spooky because it was windy.
I mean, there's a lot. You're straight over that thing. It like lines
that pole
up.
freaked me out too because I was like, my elbow gonna hit the pole.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a scary one, man. And then this is the tooth, of course. But so you said for the tooth.
Oh my god, dude! Just missed it. Oh, that'd be so scary. Your peg blew up right there.
Pedal.
That was pedal.
No, that's the best straight tooth ever done. I feel like.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're right though. Overtooth is sick to do on it too, but it's like fuck. The straight tooth is just.
What
I'd like to see someone hang tooth it before overtooth. I feel like
nobody's done hanger on it. Where's that?
No one's been there for. I think it's been capped forever, and they just uncapped it.
So what happened on that one? Just fucking hanging out with Z. I got a little too juiced with Z there or something.
Right.
Or he wasn't there the first time.
Oh, it wasn't.
I don't think so.
You were on. You actually, it looks like you were trying overtooth.
Or maybe he was. I can't remember.
Kicked out nose manual.
He had to have been.
Yeah, there's a flash. There's a flash right there.
He was there.
Yeah.
That one fuck you up worse than
I think that rail's just it's low.
Mm-hmm.
It's steep, but it's low.
It just disappears
And
on you.
Rails are just not low really on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just like been toothpicking like tall mellow rails my whole life, and then going to California, it's like we went to El Toro first, and I was just like, this looks like shit. Who would even want to grind this rail? It's got an uphill landing.
Yeah.
Like it just. I was like, if I tooth this, my feet are gonna blow off at the bottom.
Yeah. Did you ever see the clip? Did you ever see the clip of the kid trying to tooth it?
Yeah, on the left side, right?
Yeah,
And he
just
misses.
body.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's fucking sick.
So you trying to straight tooth it or
yeah,
overtooth?
straight tooth.
Who is that?
Well, it was a mystery what he was trying because it looked
his
so
tooth looked like
wild.
that. What's his name? We're buddies on Instagram. I actually
was
was trying to get him some Bone Deth parts after I saw that.
Fuck.
But
I
he
feel
gets
bad
stranger
not.
stuff.
Yeah.
What is his name? I think it begins with a T.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. I'll throw his at in there or something. I'll
Yeah.
throw the clip in and find
Yeah.
it. So.
But yeah, the El Toro rail. Me and Navaz went there first because I wanted to find a big rail to tooth.
Yeah.
And
So sick.
it's funny
yeah,
because
that's
when I
the
saw
one.
the footage of Kaczynski trying to hang tooth it, and he just explodes at the bottom into the uphill landing, I'm like, that's exactly why I didn't want to tooth.
I lived it.
Yeah.
That was my when everybody I get the token. Have you ever been scared while shooting a photo? And the Kaczynski was it because it wasn't before, it was after he did that, after he did the bounce, and then he went back up and tried to like.
Yeah, I mean that's basically El Toro. It's two less stairs and got
like,
a better landing.
Yeah.
I think
Really?
we ended up there. I think Z had brought that up because Z wanted to shoot the photo of me
It's like
doing
the
the tooth
18
at El
stair.
Toro, and I'm like, is there anything else similar to it?
That's just like El Toro.
And then we went
Two
there, and I
less
was like, this
stairs.
is perfect. It's a little low, but it's like it's a little steeper than El Toro, which I liked.
I think it's a little taller than El Toro though.
It is
at
taller.
least the rail size.
yeah, and it doesn't have an uphill landing.
And El Toro goes into the ground like that one sits on the last step, so
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
a little bit more of a.
Yeah,
You can level out and.
Yeah,
totally.
That was
you
smooth.
got fucking a lot of that thing. The top angle makes it look like you kind of floated a little bit more than
Yeah.
you do. Yeah, one of the best things. And then no writing, just this fucking intro, dude. The fucking
From Off the Map.
yeah, I just love. I don't fucking the bug eye thing is fucking. I remember
Foreshadowing.
I've literally laughed pretty much every time I've ever seen that, just because it has a slow build up of like the
Yeah.
opera music, and it's like so heavy and it just like hits, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking good.
Yeah, this is clip.
Yeah. I know you've talked about that. You've talked about this one a shitload,
So
but
much.
yeah.
It's
So,
so
but yeah,
overrated.
It's so
he
great,
he
though.
hurt his. He didn't get in trouble for the roof. Well, he almost did. He had to go to court.
Really?
But then he showed the footage that I didn't hurt the roof, and then he got away fine, and the fence was fine. But you broke your ankle.
Level 5 sprain. So I was out for like 3 months.
Yeah. Basically, just fucked it.
Yeah,
Boom.
I still have
You hit that
permanent
thing like a
damage.
wrestler.
Oh,
Because
really?
now, like, I can't. If I want to like go for a walk in sneakers, My ankle gives out after like 2 miles.
Fuck.
That's a long walk though.
Yeah, but I mean, but let's say you're walking through a mall.
Yeah.
Going from one
up.
end to the
Adds
other,
up.
my ankle's gonna be fucked by the end of
Yeah.
it. Or like,
Just tabletops. Just some nice street tables to play. Yeah. So.
Proper. I feel like the table
Oh.
got a little bit like crazy in the streets.
these aren't
lately
even like these are like my least favorite
Fuck
table
it.
clips.
I don't care. This is my favorite. Nah, I get it. I think that was it. Yeah, just ended on one of your least favorite clips. Yeah, sick. So I think that'll do it. I think I'm
I was
kind
sick.
of
Thanks for getting Burns down here because that was a sweet surprise.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. Hopefully, it'd be good to go out with you guys. We'll have to figure out what.
If you got some time,
Yeah.
that'd be sick.
Yeah, I'll be around. So thank
Hell
you.
yeah, Sean. Thanks for coming on. Sweet to listen in and see what's going on with you. And good luck with the crew out here. You guys are gonna kill it.
Right on.
Unclicked,
I'm
baby.
glad
Sean
you're
Burns.
good,
Hey, my
dude.
voice is starting to shoot out.
Yeah, after a
Nah,
couple
yeah.
hours, it gets hard. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for everything.
Hell yeah.
You.